Plano West and Hebron tonight. The Wolves and the Hawks, Furs and Feathers, up next on Champion Sports Radio. We greet you live from beautiful Hawk Stadium as Champion Sports Radio proudly presents continuing coverage of Texas schoolboy football as we track the Hebron Hawk football successes and otherwise through the 2014 season. Welcome into North Carrollton and Hawk Stadium. We're on the campus of Hebron High School for tonight's District 6A matchup, which features the Plano West Wolves and the call-on the Hebron Hawks. Permission to broadcast tonight's high school football game has been granted to Champion Sports Radio by the Plano Independent School District, the Louisville Independent School District, and the University Interscholastic League. No other broadcast of this origination is permitted without written authorization from Champion Sports Radio, the Plano and Louisville Independent School Districts, and the UIL, the University Interscholastic League, celebrating a 105th birthday here in the 2014-2015 school year. The Champion Sports Radio production crew on hand features Trent Lynch, our statistician, and third man in the booth, Trent, commonly referred to as the voice of reason between he and my partner, Mr. Nielsen. Also on hand behind the scenes is our engineer-producer and our spotter, Weston Lynch. And I mentioned Pete just a moment earlier. He joins me on the broadcast, my longtime partner, your color analyst for the Hawks and the Plano West Wolves, Mr. Pete Nielsen. And Petey, into this thing, certainly out of the balance, what with the records of these two ball clubs being the reverse mirror of one another. Plano West very healthy. The Wolves have won 6 of 7. 6 wins, 1 loss. Hebron answers with 1 victory along with 6 losses. But Hebron with a little bounce in their step tonight. They're coming off of the season's lone victory.
Well, thanks, Brad. Then good evening, everybody. Welcome into another week of Hebron Hawk football right here on Champion Sports Radio. And, Brad, you mentioned this Plano West team off to the 4-0 start and then kind of stubbed their foot in a crosstown rival game against Plano a couple of weeks ago, falling to the Wildcats 17-14. But since then, 2 victories in a row. This is a West team that's averaging 47 points a game offensively. Those are basketball numbers, my friend, and pretty impressive, and only giving up 23.5 points defensively. But you're right, the Hebron Hawks coming off their first victory, a nice win over at Flower Mound, a game that they were able to run the football like they have been all year. But they got to find a way to be a little bit more diversified against this Plano West team because they're going to score some points.
I don't think Plano West was necessarily thought to be a juggernaut in this 9-team district that is 6-6A going in. I talked to head coach Mike Hughes just a short time ago, and we'll hear his comments. And I said, a surprise to you and your staff, or perhaps this a circled bunch as they climb the ranks. I don't know if he gave me a real straight answer, but to everybody on the outside looking in, they're saying Plano West, hey, they're 3 points away from being undefeated.
And it's a Plano West team. If you look at Dave Campbell's team that was on the outside looking in, and it was a Hebron team that was people thought they would be a playoff team, so a reverse of modes there. But Brad, it's just a matter of time before we talk about the young man. But when you have a young man that's got 31 touchdowns on the ground through 7 games, and there are people here to watch him play football tonight, he's pretty special.
Yeah, well, he is number 1, and he wears the number for a pretty good reason. He may be the number 1 running back recruit in the nation, clearly. And his name's Soso Jamabo, almost a household name here in his 3rd year as a starter. Lit up the world as a sophomore a couple of years ago, a Plano West team that made it all the way to the quarterfinals. We'll talk more about it, but their deepest penetration ever. Jamabo, as a sophomore, running for 1,700 yards, get everybody's attention. Hobbled a bit last year. East paid the price for him being hobbled, did not qualify, or rather did qualify for the playoffs, didn't last long, bounced in the by-district by Dallas Jesuit, but Soso Jamabo is the name, and Jamabo is the spelling of the surname, and he's special. The numbers on him, 6'3", 201-pound senior, can fly, can stop on a dime, can run away from you, can run through you if you have to. You mentioned, Peter, the 31 touchdowns. This is a kid that's averaging 220 yards a ball game, nearly 1,600 yards rushing through the first 7 ball games to 31 touchdowns. Hey, add in another 150 yards in receiving, scoring 4 or more touchdowns in 5 of the Wolves' 7 ball games coming in. And what the ungodly night he had back in the final non-district game number 2 of the year for the Wolves, a win over Saxey when they rolled up big numbers into the 60s. I think Jamabo finished with like 485 total yards, 470 of that on the ground.
Yeah, and don't forget about the 5 receiving touchdowns, Brad. So he's special, but the leader of this offense for Plano West is the 2-year starter, Robert Comrie. Everybody rallies around this young man offensively, and just a great grasp of what goes on for Plano West offensively. But let's be honest, his job's pretty easy when you can just flip it to number 1. The offensive line is a bit of a rotating door lately. I had a bunch of kids last week against Louisville making first starts, but the center is a good football player in Travis Armstrong. He understands how to call defenses and stuff like that. So,
yeah, one of the leaders up there in the centerpiece in Travis Armstrong. Just a terrific offensive football team. You mentioned averaging at 47, 48 points.
And 450 yards of offense per game.
Yeah. Defensively, they've kind of gave up some pretty good-sized numbers early on, including 49 in the win I mentioned over Saxey, defeating Saxey 63-49. But since then, they've settled down a little bit, and I talked to Mike Hughes. You'll hear his comments, and I mentioned the old grizzled veteran John Bandy, that defensive coordinator.
One of my favorites.
Defensive his that, like wine, just keeps getting better with age.
Yeah, it's a football team that's only giving up 337 yards a game. Did give up 438 last week in the win to Louisville, but as I said in the open, 23 points a game. You can, when you're scoring 47, 23 is not bad. But John Bandy, one thing about Coach Bandy, he'll have these kids playing hard and running to the football, and we'll see that tonight from this Wolves defense.
Elsewhere around District 6-6A, and Peter, let's talk about the conversation at the top of District 6-6A. It certainly involves these Plano West Wolves, just a game back of the Allen Eagles. And by the way, Allen comes to Clark Field next week for Plano West.
Yeah, that'll be a special football game. And, you know, if you're let's swing the table here. If you're a Hebron Hawk fan, maybe this Plano West team may be looking ahead, and, you know, stranger things have happened. Hebron had some success last week when we talked about running the football. Angelo Garbett, their version of So-So Jamabo, goes over 100 yards, goes over 1,000 yards for the season. So 4 touchdowns on the night. So the young man down on the sideline wearing the ND on his jacket may have a choice of young men to look. I talk about the head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who is here.
Yeah, Brian Kelly.
I'm sure Brian Kelly's here to see So-So.
Is in the house, and he's going to see So-So Jamabo. Certainly the top recruit in the country who has yet to make a verbal commitment anywhere. Hey, elsewhere in District 6A this evening, Flower Mound on the road to take on Allen. That game to be staged at Plano's John Clark Field. And McKinney Boyd across the way over here at Marauder Stadium to take on Flower Mound Marcus. And right here we have the Plano West Wolves and the Hebron Hawks. The Hebron Hawks are on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Louisville Independent School District football is brought to you by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With the newer used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, well, you get a reliable, you'll get a stylish new car, and you'll get that vehicle at a price that doesn't break the bank. By Whirly Ball, the 2 locations to serve you in Plano and Hurst. Leagues forming right now at either location. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company, online at incommandbroadcasting.com. By Point of Origin Design, a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products online at pointoforigindesign.com. By shockboxdfw.com, be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit shockboxdfw.com today. By the Dallas Greater Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience. Do it with your family without breaking the bank. Visit gdyo.org for more information. Hebron Hawk Football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter, at Champion Sports. Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. And, of course, online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. Our pregame programming is brought to you this evening by Whirly Ball. I mentioned the two locations, one in Plano and one in Hearst. Peter?
And our friends from Whirly Ball are proud to bring you our interview with the head coach of the Plano West Wolves, Mike Hughes.
Pre-game programming continues as we welcome in Mike Hughes, 14th-year Plano West head coach. And, Mike, we welcome you in with congratulations on what has been a terrific year for your Wolves. Through 7 ball games, 3 points shy of being unbeaten. A surprise to you and your staff, or perhaps a circled group coming up through the ranks?
Well, I tell you, when you have a running back like Jamambo, there's not a lot of surprises. We knew early on that, and I said at that time he could be the best back in the country. And he's grown mentally and physically, and right now he's playing really well. So, our defense is playing well too. I think we have the number one defense in the district. So that's a surprise and a pleasant surprise. But we're playing well right now. Special teams, we got all of our special team goals last week against Louisville. So. We feel good about our team. We want to continue to get better and better and get on a roll and be playing our best football here late in the season.
Mike, more on number one in a moment, but so surrounded by a pretty complete football team. Hey, I like your left-handed senior quarterback.
Yeah, Cole Mary's our leader. He understands our offense. He does a good job of reading the option, the zone read and the power read, and people load the box up. He can throw it and hurt you there too. But he's a returning starter. Played well about the first 4 or 5 games and got injured last year and struggled when he came back. But he's smart. He's like having a coach out there. He's our leader on offense and has done an outstanding job this year running our offense.
Your offensive line, not a lot returning there. Maybe a question mark early, turning into an exclamation point later.
Yeah, we had really one returning starter. Eju Kim had a lot of playing time last year. All those guys we had last year playing in college right now. So, but I tell you, I've been pleased. They're not huge guys. They're 6'1", 250. They're athletic. They can move, stay on blocks. But I've been really pleased with the way our offensive line has played this year.
Defensively, that's an old grizzled veteran coordinator in John Bandy, and like wine, his defense just keeps getting better with age.
Yeah, Bandy's old school, great coach, does a great job. They've done a good job of adjusting every week. We've been loading at the box and trying to stop the run. No different tonight. We've got to stop the run, and we've been playing a lot of man in the secondary. We have the back end to do that this year. So Bandy and his defensive staff has done an outstanding job this year. And, we got to stop the run. We've got to be able to run the ball, and we've got to stop the run to be successful tonight.
Let me get your comments on the number one, So-So Jamabo. Obviously, you and your staff smart enough to get him the football in for good reason.
Yeah, I said going into the year we were going to give him the ball 30 times and see what happens, get on the bus and go home after the game. He's played well this year. There's been maybe 3 games, maybe 4 that we've had to pull him out early due to the score. But he's mentally and physically, he's one of the best I've seen. He's our leader. He's healthy right now. It's almost like he's willing us to win every week. So hopefully that continues. And he's an outstanding player, outstanding young man as well.
Your opponent tonight, Hebron, historically West, 0-2 against the Hawks. Hey, keys to Plano West finding their way to a win over Hebron for a first time tonight.
Well, we've got to stop their back. They're not complicated. They're going to run the toss, run the ISO, and give it to the big back. We've got to tackle, swarm to the ball and tackle. We've got to take care of the football on offense, not turn it over, and then we've got to continue to play well in the special teams tonight.
Huge matchup next week with Allen coming to Clark Field. I know you well enough. You're not going to let your ball club be in a doze tonight.
Yeah, I really don't want to talk about that right now, but our focus right now is on Hebron. Our guys are smart. They know we've got to focus tonight. If we don't, it's going to be a long night. Anybody in this district can beat anybody else. So tonight, right now, we're focused on Hebron. Starting tomorrow, probably about 12 o'clock, we'll turn our attention to Allen.
Mike, appreciate the time very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There he is, Mike Hughes, Plano West head coach. Stay with us. Our pregame programming on Champion Sports Radio continues in a moment.
That was Plano West head coach Mike Hughes, and the Whirly Ball pregame show is brought to us by Whirly Ball, and thank you to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a Whirly Bug, and they have the most affordable laser tag in town as well. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hearst. Leagues are starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more info. And Brad Denton bring you back in. And you and Mike Hughes go back a couple of years with all your years over at Plano. And Mike been a part of the Plano ISD for a long time, 13th year now at Plano West. And
man, I tell you what, Peter, I was talking to Mike, 34th year in the Plano Independent School District, started way back in the early 80s. 3 years at Vines, one of the 9th, 10th grade centers. Then he moved up to varsity staff into the 1984 season on Plano Senior High School varsity staff for 8 years under Tom Kimbrough, for another 8 years under Gerald Brents between 1984 and 1999. An offensive coordinator for the bulk of the time. He was there the last half of it under Gerald Brents. Even had a kiddo, his older one, Zach, who was a good linebacker for the Plano Wildcats. Mike Hughes, in fact, hung up the whistle for about 3 years when West opened.
Administrator, right?
Yeah, assistant principal at Plano West when they started the program under then Mark Reeve. First couple of years, they go 6-4 and 7-3, but Mark Reeve leaves for another program. They don't have to look outside the school walls to find the man they wanted. Mike Hughes, assistant principal, give me that whistle back, give me a clipboard and a film projector, and we'll get this thing figured out. And he has got it figured out. He's 79 wins, 59 losses overall. All 7 of the Plano West trips to the playoffs have been earned in the tenure of head coach Mike Hughes. And Pete, I mentioned earlier, included their deepest penetration, which was only a couple of years ago in 2012, all the way to round 4 in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be on sideline duty for most of those games in that playoff run. And if you recall, it was a loss, I think, to Austin Westlake.
Yeah.
And it was
42-35.
It was a great football game. And a lot of people will tell you the reason that Plano West lost that football game is because number 1 got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And he could not finish the football game, separated his shoulder. And, boy, what a great atmosphere that was. And it's a good program here at Plano West. If anybody's here for 13 years, and he's done a really nice job of building the program, and this is where they are now.
It is, and they will compete in other sports in District 6-6A. I can promise you that. Mike Hughes, one of those rare ones that actually grew up in Dallas, Texas, a graduate of Skyline High School, and bet you didn't know this, Peter. Collegiately, Southern Methodist University, a baseball player when they had a program back in the 70s.
Well, you're right, I didn't. But let's spin it again here, Brad. Now, you talk about a 13-year head coach at Plano West and Mike Hughes. Let's talk about our friend, the 14-year head coach at Hebron High School, Brian Brazel. And I know where he went to school. He's a TCU graduate and played football at TCU and pretty darn good at it. He's had a pretty good coaching record here at Hebron. Coming into this one, 106-64. 106-64. That's a 61% winning percentage. And, of course, back in 2005, this Hebron Hawk football team were 4A Division I state champs. And maybe one of the most frustrating years for Coach Brazel this year. We know it, and he still stays as upbeat as he possibly can.
Had a good time talking to him, and we'll play the interview in just a minute. And remember how much bounce he had in his step after the win last week. Well, he still has a pretty light-footed. Let's give it a listen. From Hawk Stadium, the pregame show presented by Whirly Ball continues as I'm joined by Hebron head coach Brian Brazel, our weekly chat. And Coach B, you guys did it. Congratulations. The season's first win, 37-27, the final on the road last week at Flower Mound. In your post-game comments, I wasn't surprised to hear, but I did find it interesting when you claimed that of all of your victories here at Hebron, and that, by the way, was number 106, none would be cherished any more than Hebron 37, Flower Mound 27.
Yeah, I mean, when you've we've been very fortunate here. We've had a lot of wins through the years, and only one other time we've been at 0-6, and that one didn't turn out too well. And to make sure that we were able to get a victory, it was really sweet. This is a tough profession in a lot of ways, and we hold on to those losses pretty hard as coaches, and getting that win the other night was just kind of it definitely was like a burden was lifted to a certain degree. Now, again, it's not the end-all, be-all. I mean, again, you come back the next day and you get back to work and you get to grind and do all things that go with that. But it was a very sweet win. I was happy for the kids especially because I know how hard it is for them, and so I know that it's tough, but they've done a great job, and they just continue to battle through it. And for us to get that win was great for our football team.
Brian, due to injury, you're still missing a couple of your blueprinters defensively, a linebacker Clay Holford, defensive end David Brazel, but particularly last week, I thought the next man really did step up. Defensive ends Julian Harris and Chris Brayman, linebacker Jacob Ragsdale, all very visible defensively, and corner Isaiah Gary just had a terrific game.
Yeah, Isaiah, he's been, he was a big-time player for us early on, had the injury, and with his thumb, and then to get him back, and he's playing well, and he's a very athletic corner. It gives us somebody there who's physical, athletic, and really make plays out there. And and of course Jarrett Lee's been battling all year there, and for us that knows, I mean, he's been a starter all year, but man, he's been a mainstay in there, and just really just does his job each and every day, and just fights and battles through it. And, and Chris Brayman, I thought he came through and really had a nice game for us last week. And Rag showed up, Cameron Isom showed up. I mean, Cameron started the year on the JV, and now he's up there playing on varsity, and he's done a good job. So, the good thing is you are getting some kids that are getting some experience now. They're going to be able to play for us the rest of this year as well as going into next year. And we have another one. We have Jacob Timish is going to be up this week that we had to move up, and and so we had so we're going to move when we have to, and so we're excited about a chance to see those young kids step up and play.
Brian, the aftermath last week after the victory, it was like you just kept on coaching. In this case, you're coaching your kids on maybe how to celebrate success. Your victory, John, game ball in hand, included the head coach trading high fives with the Hebron fans lined up on the front row across the way. Hey, for the moment, all was grand in Hawkland.
Yeah, it was. I don't think they quite knew what we were doing, what I was doing, and I was trying to get them to go over and celebrate. And I think they just thought I'd lost my mind or something, but that was okay. It was a good time. It was a good celebration for the kids and the coaches, and we don't do it just for the victories, obviously, but that's definitely something we strive for each and every week. We do it for a lot of other reasons, but at the same time, it does make it nice. And I know when I talked to Coach Clark, John Clark from Plano at one time, and he said if he had one thing to do over again, he said he would have celebrated the victories a whole lot more. And even though it was only the first one out of the 7 games we played, I definitely wanted to celebrate and enjoy it while we had it, because again, the next day you turn the page and you're going on. So we did enjoy it that night.
You do turn that page and return home tonight, and that's a 6-win, 1-loss Plano West outfit. That's a complete football team. And that's a very explosive offense, averaging 48 points a game. I know post-game last week you said I hadn't seen any film on them. I'm sure by now you've seen plenty of film on Plano West. That's a crackerjack football team.
Yeah, I've probably seen too much film because they're really good. They're a really good football team. Coach Hughes has done a great job over there getting his group together. I know he's kind of had his eye on this bunch coming through, and I think he's really excited about what they could bring. And again, they're very talented. Of course, their running back, so their quarterback does a great job running the show offensively up front. They do a great job with their linemen. The receivers run good routes and get open, and quarterback can run and throw. Defensively, very aggressive. Their secondary does a great job in covering. They play a lot of man coverage back there. So, there's some, they will take some chances and they will, gamble a little bit. But at the same time, those gambles do pay off quite a bit for them. So we're going to have to do a great job of shoring up our front to be able to hopefully get some creases in there and run the football on them.
Brian, appreciate the time. Good luck as you take dead aim at number 107, my friend.
Sounds good.
Comments of 15th-year Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. Pre-game programming presented by Whirly Ball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
That's Hebron coach Brian Brazel, and always a pleasure to catch up with Coach. And you could hear the excitement in his voice still carried over from last week's victory. And Brad, before we introduce you to the Hebron Hawks starting lineup tonight, I'd like to take a chance to thank Randy Rogers and the team over at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano for being such strong supporters of the Hebron Hawks. Are you searching for a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram? At Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, we provide everything automotive and a superb customer service as well. With Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, you'll get a reliable and stylish new car at a price that doesn't break the bank. And one of the disappointing things for me this season, I know I speak for Trent and Weston, and as well as you, I'm sure, was the injury to the youngest of the Rogers clan, and Zach Rogers, not able to play the rest of the season, an ankle injury back in the Plano game. And, boy, I don't know where we would be without Randy Rogers over the last couple of years, and to see his son get hurt like he did was really disappointing. But with that said, probably the strongest part of this football team, along with Angelo Garbett, has been that offensive line, and I think it'd be really nice for us to go out and talk about some of these youngsters. There's a lot of time, the only time we talk about them is when they get a flag thrown at them, Brad.
Peter don't want to know where we'd be without Randy Rogers. Would love to know where we might be with Zach Rogers.
No kidding.
By the way, but, hey, what can you say about Brian Drew? He missed a ball game earlier, but a rock 2-year starter at center, the senior 6'2", and 245. A junior guard in Jarrett Farley, likewise a senior, a 2-year starter. Jarrett 6'1", 245, and again started a year ago as a sophomore in his junior season. At right tackle, maybe the biggest toad in the puddle anymore is Hayden Seeley, 6'2", the senior, 268 pounds. The left side of that offensive line features guard Devin Wright, a senior 6', 220. And tackle Freddie Danchez has stepped in and done what he can, which has been plenty, to fill the great big shoes left empty there at left tackle by the injury in game number 3 to Zach Rogers.
I thought Freddie played pretty good last week, and again, it's a big drop-off from where it was, but all you can ask is the young man to go out and play as hard as he can for as long as he can, and that's the Hebron philosophy anyway.
Hebron starting a sophomore quarterback. This will be a third start for one Richard Dodd. He's 6', 175, and he's completed 9 of 20 passes in those 3 ball games. He's carried the football for 19 yards, and the completed passes for 122. Richard Dodd hadn't made a lot of mistakes. I think he made a mistake last week coming out saying, "Coach, my forearm hurts a little bit." And if you'll remember, Coach Braswell said, "Well, sit down and think about it," and he called Colton Chapin in, who engineered what ended up being the go-ahead drive, maybe the game-winning drive for the Hebron in the second half.
Yeah, it was good to see Colton get back there, and we talked about it all year. He has pretty quick feet, Colton Chapin. They struggle a little bit with throwing the football, but he has no problem when he gets out on the outside to make people miss. And with the power running of Garbett, it's a weapon, and you may see Dodd do that as well.
When Hebron does throw the football, they do have a favorite receiver, and he is a junior in number 5, Derek Mueller, far and away the leading receiver with 11 catches, good for 106 yards, and he has caught 1 of 2 Hebron touchdown passes on the season. And all of that, Peter, gets us to the guy who wears the deuces on the black jersey tonight. One, Mr. Angelo Garbett, was absolutely terrific a year ago as an outside linebacker. Senior season, forced to play offense, maybe for the first time in a while, operating out of running back, and he has been nothing short of special.
He is absolutely special. The numbers on the season for him: 165 carries, 1,027 total yards, 11 touchdowns for Angelo Garbett.
Hebron defensively under 6-year coordinator Eric Mock seems to be getting healthier by the week. And boy, isn't it good to see Omar Hicks-Onu back there operating at safety. Isaiah Gary back a couple of weeks after thumb surgery. Still missing David Brassel, a defensive end. Still missing Clay Holford, a linebacker. We take a break here and pause for the playing of our national anthem. That is a very nice rendition of our Star Spangled Banner by the Hebron Hawk Band. We'll turn them into a marching band at halftime, and I know they've been preparing hard for some competitions, and that is one highly awarded outfit, the Hebron High School Band. A reminder that permission to broadcast tonight's high school football game has been granted to Champion Sports by the Plano and Louisville Independent School Districts and the University Interscholastic League. No other broadcast of this origination is permitted without written authorization from Champion Sports Radio, the Plano and Louisville Independent School Districts, and the University Interscholastic League. Along with Pete Nielsen, Brad Denton, Champion Sports Radio had the toss of the coin. Hebron won that toss. The Hawks defer decision to the second half, and we'll kick off from our right to left, south to north, to Plano West. Hebron with a new look tonight. That is a royal blue pair of breeches covered by a solid black jersey, bright white numerals, black headgear for Hebron.
It's a northwestern look.
Plano West answers with kind of the opposite, white jersey for the road trip. That's a black headgear for the Wolves, and also black breeches for Plano West. Deep is Seth Hammond along with Tyler Campbell to return the Nick Horiatas opening kickoff. There's the word from our referee, Smith Holder. Horiata's approach, that's a nice kick, and going to be gathered in a yard deep, and going away from the goal line was Seth Hammond. Thought about bringing it out, then said, "Nah, I'm going to go down on a knee," as I made the over-the-shoulder grab. Momentum taking me the other way. Plano West averaging 450 yards, 48 points a ball game. They will go to work from the 25-yard line. Travis Armstrong opens at center. Edward Alatab at right guard. The left guard is Colin Hill. Callie Erick is the left tackle, and Iju Kim the right tackle. The quarterback is Robert Comary. He's going to take the snap out of a shotgun and hand it away. So-So Jamabo breaks it for 5, breaks it for 10, out across the 40, still on his feet, 50, makes a guy miss at midfield, and he's on his way 40, across the field, now down the sideline, 20, stepping out of a tackle at the 15, 10 to the 5, touchdown run, 75 yards, So-So Jamabo.
Well, maybe that's why the guy from South Bend made the road trip. Holy cow, he made 6-7 guys miss. Started with the run to the left-hand side, Brad Denton, cut it back at midfield, and ended up scoring on the right side of the field. 75 yards, 32nd rushing touchdown of the season for So-So Jamambo.
And all you can say is wow. I mean really. Wow. The kicker is Parker Davidson. He has made 44 of 45 point after touchdowns. Now 45 of 46, drills it through. A mere 16 seconds into it, and a new count from Hawk Stadium. It's Plano West 7 and Hebron nothing.
In Command Broadcasting is a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company providing a wide array of turnkey video production. Also streaming services, including filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate informationals, and documentaries. That's right. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event with In Command Broadcasting. I throw it to the third voice of the booth, Mr. Trent Lynch, and your job's easy on that scoring drive, my friend.
Well, you don't see it happen very often. That's all I got to say. One play, the first play of the ball game, 75-yard run by So-So Jamabo, and it only took him 16 seconds to zag this way, zig that way, and get on down the field. Touchdown. The extra point by Davidson makes it 7-0. Plano West very early in the first quarter.
And Trent, realistically, 4, perhaps 5 Hebron Hawks had pretty good shots at Jamabo.
Had really good shots. They just could not get him down.
Partee had a shot there before at the 30-yard line, and he just outran him.
Hebron will answer with the kickoff. Forthcoming from Parker Davidson. It's in the air. And Omar Hicks-Onu from 3 yards into the end zone brings it out. Goal line 5, veering left 10. And stoned down there at the 10-yard line by Malik McLemore. A scissoring tackle on Onu just above the 10-yard line. Hebron down 7-0. Goes to work 11:39 of our first quarter. And we'll see the sophomore quarterback, a number 1-2, pasted on the black jersey Richard Dodd leading the way out there. Garbett will offset to the right of his quarterback. Hebron will work out of a shotgun. Garbett has been the main load offensively. Hebron averaging 290 yards a ball game. Hawks want to throw on first down. It's a little too tall, deflected, intended for Christian Dawson in the far flat. It goes incomplete, nearly intercepted on deflection by cover safety Tyler Campbell. It goes incomplete.
Interesting. Hebron goes with the passing game to start the game, maybe to loosen up this defense a little bit. And unfortunate news if you're a Hebron Hawk fan, Christian Dawson just came off the field limping.
Yeah. One play, one man. To the sideline, and Hebron goes second down, same 10 from the 11.
Kyle Sauter's checked in, and he's in the slot right now, Brad.
Here's Dodd, running play, wide right, get a block. Jamabo, or rather, that's a face mask call on Garbett as he turned the corner wide to the right side. Hebron will get a free first down because that was a blatant face mask. On the tackle there is the starting corner, Amir Kilpatrick. Amir starting in place of an injured Alex Prince on one corner. Ade Kilpatrick, the brother, starting in place of the injured Mark Cooks on the other corner for West. A little dinged up defensively.
Brad, and talking to the broadcast team for the Plano West Wolves, the defense has been good against the run. They've been a little leaky against the pass, so maybe you'll see Hebron attempt to run throw the football a little bit, but not with this formation. There's looks like 3 tight ends and 1 back out there right now.
Jacob Ragsdale is lined up at fullback.
Nathan Grant in the backfield as well.
Going to be a direct snap out of a Wildcat is Angelo Garbett. And he'll run right side. He'll clear a corner, step out of a tackle, and then lean it ahead for the gain of 4.5. Out to the 34-yard line. Mohamed Sanogo, middle linebacker, just a sophomore and a good one. Started a few games last year as a freshman. But Sanogo is on the tackle right there. His 73rd tackle on the year on Garbett after the first down carry from the 30 to the Hawk 34.
Defensive end Brett Clark for Plano West was in the backfield and made Garbett make his move maybe a step or two sooner than he might have wanted to.
Now we'll empty the backfield, and the Hawks will go with the quarterback running left. Good feet, turning the corner out to the 40-43 for a first down run of 9. Give him 10 yards. The quick feet of Hebron's Richard Dodd finally run down by a pursuing defensive end Lavelle Ramsey.
You talk about Jacob Ragsdale last week as a linebacker. It was Ragsdale out in front from the fullback position that led a nice block on that play. And I like how Richard Dodd puts his feet down when he decides he's going to go. Hebron another first down.
Now Hebron will employ Victor Miller at that fullback. In fact, they'll continue to work out of the Wildcat with Miller along with Ragsdale fronting Angelo Garbett, who will take a direct snap. From the 43, here's Garbett. Digging to the edge right side, clearing the corner 45 on his feet midfield. He'll see West Soil, and after the gain of 11, he'll be bumped out of bounds at the Plano West Wolf 46.5-yard line by the tandem of safety Tyler Campbell and corner Amir Kilpatrick. Derek Mueller, very nice job stop blocking downfield.
And a good job of Hebron mixing up the offense a little bit. One time they come left with the quarterback, then they go right with Garbett out of the Wildcat formation, and now Dodd's back into the football game. But Brad, this is exactly what Hebron needs to do. They're running clock, and they need to keep the defense and Soso Jamabo off the field.
The first down earned at the Plano West 46. Hebron working right to left, inside handoff, slow developing, and the posse just waiting right there for Angelo Garbett and leading the way. Mohamed Sanogo, middle backer, balance of that backer core. The weak side linebacker, leading tackler is Ed Martin. Strong side linebacker, Keyshawn Butler. The man in the middle, of course, is Sanogo.
Sanogo, only a sophomore. How good is that young man? He started a couple of games last year as a freshman as a middle linebacker, Brad, and that's unheard of. That's a tough position to play as a youngster, but 72 tackles coming into the game tonight from Mohamed Sanogo.
Big Hawk Jr., Nathan Grant, onto the gridiron. He'll be stationed at tight end left side. Shotgun snap, Garbett behind his right guard and tackle, the head down and out of the neutral zone. They're moving people away, and on second down and 10, That's a very nice gain between the tackles by Garbett of 5-6, giving 7 to the 39. It took a safety, Seth Hammond, and Keyshawn Butler, that strong side linebacker, collaborate on the two-man tackle.
Well, you heard Mike Hughes in the pregame saying, hey, there's not much to this Hebron offense. They're going to run it right. They're going to run it left. They're going to flip it. That's exactly what you're seeing here. And don't think Brian Brazel won't go for it if they don't get it here on this third down. Nothing to lose.
Now this is Trey Pugh to take the direct snap. Pugh, head down, right side, off tackle, upended, 2 yards as he needed 3 to get the first, and picked up a pair and turned top over bottom by Amir Kilpatrick supporting from that left corner. Hebron 4th down and 1 will go for it at the Plano West 37-yard line as we approach the 8-minute mark, first quarter.
8th play of the drive for Hebron, and there's the difference between Garbett and Pugh. Garbett can make some people miss. Pugh tries to run over people. That was a nice tackle by Kilpatrick going low, which is the way you need to bring Trey Pugh down.
Pugh to the sideline, now back into the game and taking a direct snap will be Angelo Garbett. He'll set his offense down and from the Wildcat set. Calling for the football on 4th and 1. Garbett breaks left. Garbett gives ground. Now we have a stoppage in play, a dead ball foul, or rather a timeout was called by the Hebron Hawks before the play unfolded. That'll stop for first quarter clock at the 7-minute 46-second mark. And our count, by the way, Plano West 7 and Hebron nothing. West scoring on the game's initial play from scrimmage. Soso Jamabo putting on a show for a 75-yard touchdown run.
This broadcast is also sponsored in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it's the right option for you or your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that can result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. And, Brad, it was Brian Brazel who called the Hebron timeout. Didn't like the setup of the play, and it looked like Plano West had a scheme, so that might have been a good call there by Coach Brazel. We'll see what they come back with now.
Trent Lynch, I want you to join me as we tip our cap collectively to our partner up here, Mr. Pete Nielsen, doing extra work tonight. We short a piece of equipment, so we're doing our spots live, and Peter, getting better all the time.
And you can't, my production assistant, Mr. Weston Lynch back here, between me and him, we got this worked out.
After the timeout, 4th and 1. Snap, Garbett, head down. Don't know if he got a first down.
Oh, I think he might have.
Let us see. That's on the spot. And he was really stoned just a step and a half beyond the line of scrimmage by Seth Hammond. First down, Hebron, and they do it on the eyeball. And that is a tough yard delivered by one Angelo Garbett, but he's been delivering tough yards all year long.
That's a good hard run, and they went right up the middle.
And why not saddle up old Brian
Drew and Jarrett Farley and Devin Wright? Those guys have been good all year for Hebron.
The first down earned at the 35.
A little bit miscommunication here. Big old 94 out there. Hadn't played very much offense. They got to kind of show him where to go.
Grant stationed at the tight end left. Here's a reverse. Slater wanting to throw and long for Joe Martin and incomplete inside the 20-yard line. Coverage there by Tyler Campbell, and Joe Martin had to wait for an underthrown pass, which was triggered by Jalen Slater on the tight end reverse pass, if you will.
And Brad, we saw all the razzle-dazzle that we've ever seen from Coach Brazel and his staff in the Allen game. Well, I don't think we've ever seen that play either. A little misdirection reverse and a flip to Slater, and they tried to sneak the ball to tight end, who has 3 catches on the year, but a little bit underthrown, unable to make the connection, so 2nd and 10. Yeah, not the prettiest pass by Slater.
Well, back to the Wildcat with Garbett taking a direct snap. Looking, putting the head down, left side of the line, turned around right there, and driven back for 4 yards. They'll count the forward progress right at the line of scrimmage. Demaria Lambert, that's a good defensive end, a senior, along with help from Keyshawn Butler, that hard-hitting strong side linebacker.
Boy, he puts his nose down, and that time he blew up the blocker, and he almost was back there to get the handoff. But you're right, it all starts with that defensive line. They do their job. They let those linebackers run free, and here's third forever. Well, 3rd and 10 for Hebron. This is something you don't want if you're a Hebron football team with the problem you've had throwing the football this year.
Plano West old school. They'll go with that 4-3 defensive look almost exclusively. Here's Garbett on 3rd down and 10, trying to get to the edge and scissor down for maybe a 2-yard loss by Seth Hammond, and that's a good-looking safety. Hammond listed at 5'11 and 155, and I'd make you wish that the youngster can pack some whack into the tackle. Seth Hammond has Hebron confronted, well, as they behind the chains, 4th down, 10 plus.
But Hebron can't make that play because the defensive line and the linebackers do such a great job of stretching that play off, and Angelo can't turn it up, and by the time he wants to, there's Hammond, and he goes low like you're supposed to against Angelo Garbett.
Here's Dodd in to try to dial up something on 4th down and 10 from a shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. Dodd drops to throw, sets, now flushed out, squares, throws on the boundary, incomplete to Derek Mueller. The ball will go over on downs. Had Mueller caught the pass, he would have been well short of the 1st down, and Derek Mueller drew the cover of Keyshawn Butler, the outside linebacker. Pass was thrown maybe just a breath in bounds to Mueller, but too tight a coverage, and the ball goes over on the incompletion.
That's a nice job by that Plano West defense, but Hebron's offense does a good job of running clock. Unfortunately, not able to score. But here's that offense of Plano West. You've seen them once, and we all know what happened.
Leading 7-0, and here at the football at the 36 to 5:31 mark. Colmary wants to throw. Fires a out route across the way for 15 yards. That's incomplete. Onu is on the coverage of the intended receiver, James Kim, and incomplete. Kim tried to go down and stretch and reach on his numbers and pull it in. Couldn't reel it in. 2nd down and 10 for Colmary and company.
Colmary into the game, 47 for 79, Brad. 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. That's a 59% completion rating.
Always fun to watch the left-handed quarterback. Colmary is one. Give it away to Soso Jamabo. Stoned at the line of scrimmage, and that's a big blow by a defensive one of the front 7 for Hebron, who made penetration up front. Jarrett Lee, the junior nose guard, in there gumming up the works and nothing doing. 2nd down. Make it now 3rd down and 10.
Brad, a new face out there defensively. Jason Lynch in on that tackle as well.
My goodness. Here's Colmary. Play action. Wanting to throw. In the pocket. Hit and back at the 29-yard line.
That's Brayman.
First hit. Nathan Grant. Right on top of the Grant hit is Chris Brayman. And they will high-low Colmary down in punting time for the Plano West Wolves.
BD, we saw Chris Brayman make a difference last week defensively. That's the first play he's played tonight from that defensive end position, and him and Nathan Grant met at the quarterback. That's a good job by the Hebron defense on that series.
Derek Mueller will peel off in single safety to return. The punter is Damon Poncham. Takes a snap at the 15, unloads from the 18. Angling to the far boundary, will not be returned. Surfacing in Hebron territory above the 45 and tumbling across the way over the boundary at the Hawk 42-yard line. Change of possession at 4:12. Quarter number 1. We continue with the count. Plano West 7 and Hebron nothing.
4 minutes, 12 seconds in our first quarter. Much better job by the Hebron defense that time, BD.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you had to get better than the lightning that struck there on the first play from scrimmage, with Jamabo rolling for 75 yards in the game's only score. And here's Hebron. They'll try to employ that clock-eating offense, and they did a very nice job in their first possession, earning Trent, 3 first downs in the process?
4 first downs, actually, Brad.
4, thank you. Here's Dodd wanting to throw again on first down.
He's
like that mouse on the cartoon that can't find an exit open. He's dancing around, finally gets bagged by Leviton, Robert Leviton, a defensive end.
Brad, he had Slater open, and he's young, and I think sometimes he overthinks a little bit. He has the post pattern, and if you hold the ball and you hesitate,
here they
as
come.
a quarterback, here they come, and boy, they got him. And there's a coaching moment over here on the sideline. I don't know if you caught it, but an obvious coaching moment.
Recall the first down snap was from the 42. He lost 11. 2nd down, 21 from the Hawk 31. Running play inside. Garbett for 5. Carve it out at 7. And the gain to the 38-yard line. And beg your pardon, that's Reggie Evans, his first carry of the ball game. Evans squeezing it between the guards and picking up 7, tackled by Campbell, the busy safety.
You know, we all know Angelo hits the hole hard, but boy, this Reggie Evans hit the hole hard. He's in that hole. He's a little whirling dervish in there, not as tall as Angelo Garbutt or Trey Pugh, and harder to bring down. So here's big third down. You got third and manageable now, 3rd and 14. They picked up 7 on that carry.
A wide out either way. 4, quarterback Dodd, who's going to work from under center. And a straight drop. And a set and a throw over the middle. Nobody home. Intercepted at the Plano West 42 and across the field now to midfield. That's Hammond turning on the Jets, riding the near rail and shoved out of bounds at the Hebron 41-yard line.
Well, went to try to get down the middle. That time it wasn't there, and his eyes never left the receiver, and the safety's just playing center field, and an easy pickup for the interception for Plano West.
Seth Hammond, his 2nd intercept of the season, and a short field for this West offense.
Boy, Hammond having a nice first quarter.
41-yard line, Hebron territory from the right hash mark, 2:37 remaining, opening period, 7-0 West. Why not go running play? Jamabo into the secondary, 30, 25 on his way, say so long, 15, 10 to the 5, 41 yards. Soso Jamaba, a 2nd rushing touchdown on the night, and number 33 on the season. This one from 41 yards.
Well, that's what happens when you get a short field and you have such a weapon in Jamabo, and Brad off tackle, and there's nobody there. They block the outside linebacker. They block the defensive end, and Soso could have went in from 80 on that one as well. No one near him into the end zone for the 33rd time on the ground this year.
Parker Davidson to try to add point number 14 is on the way with it. Booms it through. And a couple of touchdowns. The difference in this one at the 2-minute 30-second mark of our first quarter. 2 Soso Jamabo distance touchdowns. First from 75, more recently from 41 yards. And Trent, not to steal your thunder here, both on one-play possessions.
Yeah, one-play possessions. You said 41 yards. That's 2 carries for Jamabo. Actually, 2 touchdown carries for Jamabo tonight. 3 carries for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. In a elapsed time of less than 30 seconds for both touchdowns.
Peter?
To Stephen Barb Hill at Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for all of your apparel, promotional event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always the best part at the right point. So visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com and let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next T-shirt. That's online at Point of Origin. One word, pointoforigindesign.com. Bradley?
For Plano West, it's Parker Davidson to kick it away from the north 40. Here's the approach from Davidson. Hicks Onu is deep along with Garbutt. It's Hicks Onu from the goal line. Up the field between the hash marks. 10 tripped up at the 14 and sails out just above the 15-yard line, and that is McLemore one more time on the kickoff coverage team. Surfacing at the 17 is Omar Hicks Onu, but a very nice job by Malik McLemore. 2 kickoffs, both beyond the end zone, and 2 tackles for Malik McLemore of Plano West on Hicks Onu.
I just did the math on Soso's 2 runs.
Yeah.
23 seconds.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Just and like, hey, the coach from South Bend has something to look at, huh?
Not just a huge individual, but put together pretty well. 6'3" and 205. Here's Garbutt breaking wide left, and Garbutt from the 17 to the 25 out to the 30. They'll say he walked the white on the near side at the 29, tackled by Keyshawn Butler. But nevertheless, a gain of a dozen and a first down on the Angelo Garbutt carry.
Nice job of getting the corner. That time, Hebron got the defensive end blocked, and he could get the corner with momentum running downhill. Gain of 11. Angelo's got some pretty good numbers started already as well.
8 carries, 42 yards.
Dodd bobbles the snap. It's still loose. He's scrambling for it. It's recovered by Plano West. Where is it? West Kiddo had it, but then I think Dodd saw it squeeze loose from the white jersey and able to pounce upon it. That was Brett Clark, and I'll promise the eyes were big as Frisbees when he saw it there, but like a bar of soap, it squirted away from his possession.
Brett was going to say to Soso, hey, I can do this too. He wanted to pick it up and run it into the end zone, but he forgot to set the football, and good job of not quitting on the play by the quarterback, Richard Dodd.
Dodd takes a breather, and here's Garbett to take a direct snap on 2nd and 24. Inside, now into the linebacking zone, and pushes it out from the 15, the gain of 5 to the 20 for Angelo Garbett. Behind the blocking of Brian Drew, Devin Wright, Jarrett Farley, and tackles Hayden Seeley and Freddie Danchez.
It's almost too much to ask for this Hebron offense, Brad. It's hard enough for them to get first downs on 1st and 10, but when it's 2nd and 24, the struggles they've had up and through the air, it's really, really difficult.
Now confronted with 3rd and a bunch, need 19. Work from the Hawk 20-yard line, trailing 14-0. Sophomore Dodd calling for the football. Now Hebron will burn a second timeout here in the first half. And the clock will rest with 41 seconds until we call it a quarter. A very dangerous situation for Hebron with 3rd down and 19 deep in their own territory at the 20-yard line already, trailing by a couple of touchdowns. And head coach Brian Brazel in his 15th year, along with the second-year offensive coordinator Jamie Carr, thought, let's talk about this riddle. It is a big riddle, a heck of a hill to climb, Pete, at 3rd down 19, very late first quarter.
And this is a Hebron offense, Brad, that came into the game only averaging 34 yards a game through the air. So I don't know what play you call here at 3rd and 19, but young quarterback, I think he's a little rattled right now, and you might want to just continue to run the football and take your chances of stopping number 1, which, hey, 2 out of 3, he's done pretty well. Trent?
Well, I was just going to say 0 for 2 and 2 negative yardage plays that has put Hebron in a tough spot.
After the timeout, 3rd down 19, jet sweep. Christian Dawson, right side, gets back to beyond the line of scrimmage, and on 3rd and 19 picks up 5.5. The tackle in the open field, authored by safety Tyler Campbell. And punting time for Hebron and Jake Gennard. Or is it Gennard? No, this is Coyne. Coyne Harris wearing the number 43 to take the deep snap of Stanton Turley to punt it away. Return man is Tyler Campbell.
Brad, Hebron 0 for 4 now on 3rd downs.
Bright fluorescent yellow footwear for the punter Coyne Harris. And Hebron will just wait for that first quarter clock to expire, and we'll change ends of the field, or will we? No, that clock stopped now for a moment.
There was an offside.
Oh, yeah, Lavelle Ramsey a little anxious, and 4th and 13 becomes 4th and 8. Harris takes a floating snap. Look out, here's pressure. Ball on the ground, recovered by West inside the 15. And first down by Plano West at the 14. Jared Belasano was the guy who was all over the punter in Coyne Harris. And Harris
had no chance
because I believe Belasano beat the floating snap back to the punter.
Well, you feel for Coyne Harris. He ducked. He tried to make a miss with the duck.
Recovery to Seth Hammond. He's the same guy who got the interception. So 2 takes for Hammond tonight. And a mighty short field. Direct snap, Soso Jamabo. Looking. Breaking into the secondary to the 10 to the 5. The gain of 12 down to the 3-yard line for Jamabo.
And a good hit on Jamabo by Gary. That'll be the end of the first quarter.
With help from Chapin also out of the secondary. And at the conclusion of our first quarter of play, all Wolves, Plano West, leading 14-0 over the Hebron Hawks. And my golly, as we flip into the field, we'll find West knocking at the door one more time when we get the second frame underway. Pete?
A big shout out and a thanks to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the GDYO Jazz Institute. Check out GDYO.org to learn more about this amazing group, including when you have your next chance to enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. That's the GDYO Jazz Institute and the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra, sponsor of Champion Sports Radio for many years now. They do a really nice job, and we thank everything they do for us.
Mr. Nielsen with Hebron being on the far eastern edge of what is a gigantic Louisville Independent School District, and Plano West, ironically being on the western edge of the Plano ISD. These schools do share a border. They are one district butting up against the next, yet they've only played 2 previous times.
And both Hebron victories, as you mentioned in the pregame.
First down goal from the 3. Second quarter underway. So Jamabo sheds a tackler at the 5. Now turns it up, squeezes between would-be tacklers and takes it in for the touchdown run, third of the night, this time from 3 yards out.
Trent, what do you got?
Well, I was just going to say that Chris Brayman had a great opportunity in the backfield to get Soso Jamabo, but Jamabo just quick with a little
pretty good.
A whirly ball back there in the backfield and was able to get away.
It's like he's in a whirly bug.
Parker Davidson, third point after touchdown try tonight, third make in as many attempts, and very early, only 5 ticks into this third quarter, and Plano West threatening to run away and hide from homestanding Hebron. The 3-yard touchdown run of Soso Jamabo, the Parker Davidson point after, 11:55 until halftime, and Plano West has the board by a count of 21-0.
Bradley, once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Randy Rogers and the team over at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano for being such strong supporters of Hebron Hawk football. Are you searching for a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram? At Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, we provide everything automotive and superb customer service. With Chrysler Jeep Dodge, you'll get a reliable and stylish new car at a price that does not break the bank. Trent Lynch?
Well, this is another easy one for me here. Only 2 plays, 11 yards. Another whopping 8 seconds off of the clock. The Davidson extra point, 21-0. The Plano West Wolves over the Hebron Hawks, 11:55 in the second quarter. Those are 3 first downs, 3 touchdowns, and a combined
31 seconds.
31 seconds.
Yeah, the latter 2 touchdowns cashing in off turnovers. The interception by Hammond and the recovery by Hammond more recently. Here's Davidson on the kick, bounding away from Isaiah Gary, who was deployed deep, and squirts away from him into and through the end zone, and they'll touch it out to the 25 for a Hebron Hawk offense who needs to show a little get up and go. They did early on their initial possession, but since then they have had too many plays kicking it into reverse due to errors.
Proudest score in our district, McKinney Boyd 13, Marcus 0 so far in the second quarter of that one in Plano East. Up ahead of Louisville, 14-7. I'll get you the score on the Plano game here in a moment.
Garbett out of the Wildcat, Wild Hawk, whatever you might call it. Direct snap to Angelo Garbett. Inside, bounces outside, wide to the right, and steps from the 25 out to the 27, and ushered out of bounds by safety Tyler Campbell.
Allen all over Flower Mound early, 14-3 in the first quarter.
I like Mike Hughes' outfit, and I look forward to seeing what they can do with Allen next week at Clark Field.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. It'll be a packed house over there at Clark Field for that one. You can imagine that.
Let me tell you something. I invite you to put the glasses on that sophomore middle linebacker, Mohamed Sanogo. 6'2", 227, and hits like a sledgehammer. Here's a dead ball foul cited by our line judge on the near side, and that'll blow the play dead. Second down confronting Hebron. At the moment, the scoreboard and the down marker shows 8, but we'll see as Smith Holder, our referee, looks to the press box and said, nope, Hebron guilty of a false start. And again, behind the sticks are the Hawks, confronted with second down 13.
As we talked about, it's just, you can't keep shooting yourself in the foot with the struggles offensively and with the weapons that Plano West has offensively. It's just not a very good combination right now.
Go out of an eye set under center is the sophomore signal caller, Richard Dodd. Tailback, this guy. Angelo Garbutt on a toss sweep to the left side. He'll pick up 3 out to the 25 and tackled by a host of white-shirted defenders. Schreiber along with Butler and Martin all out of the linebacking core. On the stop. Back to the original line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, 3rd down 10 for Hebron. Slater checks in, and Cameron Isom, who had worked at tight end, to the Hawk sideline. And we'll see one more time the right arm of sophomore Richard Dodd trying to convert a 3rd and 10 from the Hawk 25. Roll the pocket right side. Dodd to the sideline. Mueller can't bring it in. I think it was a little wide. And across the boundary, Amir Kirkpatrick is on the cover. Amir and brother Ade, the Kilpatricks, manning down the Plano West corners tonight defensively.
And doing a pretty darn good job so far in this football game.
So Jake Gennard will get his chance to punt. And deployed to return, single safety and a 1-3 on the white jersey of the West Wolves, and James Kim stands just in West territory at the 45. That's a far better snap, no pressure, and Gennard a kick away. A fair catch called for by Kim, and he'll make it cleanly at the Wolves' 45-yard line at 10 minutes, 52 seconds remaining until halftime. 30 yards on the Jake Gennard punt. 1st and 10, Plano West. Again, good field position, Peter, for the West Wolves. Go to work from their 46, 54 steps away from the pay station. They already stuck it in the end zone, 3-0.
Good positive on special teams that time. Victor Miller down on coverage for Hebron.
Jamabo and Colmary in the backfield. Colmary will call the football from the shotgun. Off to the right, Jamabo. Play fake. Colmary in the pocket. Going to launch it in long. Man open at the post. All batted away and very nicely. Well timed by Isaiah Gary as they were looking for the angular receiver in Bennett DeBro. Only 7 catches on the year, but they'd like to go long distance with him. Those 7 grabs for 106 yards. And just in the nick of time, the right hand of Isaiah Gary deflects it away.
Isaiah Gary's an athlete, and that time the receiver was behind him, but he just made a great play of leaping and tipping the ball away at the last moment.
Call that closing speed. Here's Jamabo outside, gets hit, and he's going to just take it out of bounds, and the hit was delivered by safety Antoine Partee. And a loss of a couple on the play.
And don't you know, So-So knows there's nothing there. I'll just take it out of bounds. I may break the next one. 3rd down.
If you listen to our pregame interview with Plano West head coach, the veteran Mike Hughes, he just spewed superlatives about the leadership of Jamabo. A great kid, this So-So Jamabo. Trying to set up a screen and look out in space. Here's Jamabo. He'll look it in at the 40. Fake left, fade right, goes wide, gets a 1st down into Hebron territory, and knocked out of bounds at the Hebron 43. Isaiah Gary, perhaps a touchdown saver of a tackle. Erich, the big tackle who had peeled out there and made a good block, as did the offensive guard Edward Alatesev.
I'm going to tell you that Jamison Cooper is going to be talking to himself because Trent and I saw the same thing. He had him lined up, and all of a sudden he was tackling air.
Here's a double pass and a man open downfield. The pass is caught at the 15, carried to the 10, tackled inside the 5-yard line by Hicks Onu. The guy he tackled is Yosei Ali. Only his 6th catch of the year. The ball was triggered by a wide receiver on an attempted reverse, Bennett DeBro, so the old wide receiver reverse pass, and it works big.
Mike Hughes, we're opening up the playbook here.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Well, you bet one gets it here.
One does get it. One cuts against the grain. One dives, and he's on to the pay station for a 4th touchdown here in the first quarter plus. This one from 2 yards away.
It's just so easy. I mean, the Hebron does a nice job of slowing him down, but he just finds the hole and falls into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the evening. And we're only 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Parker Davidson will line up the point after touchdown. He'll boot it out of the hold of Damon Boncham, who spots, and Parker Davidson good with yet another point after touchdown and stretch the Plano West lead at the 10-minute, 17-second mark of quarter number 2. Not even 14 minutes in the books here from Hawk Stadium, and the West Wolves sitting large on top of the Hebron Hawks. Our count 28-0.
A big thank you to one of our longtime sponsors, Mr. Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball, for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a whirly bug. And they also have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hearst. Leagues are starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. And Trent Lynch, that one might have even taken a minute.
It wasn't even close to a minute, Pete. Only 35 seconds because of the 41-yard pass, but 5 plays, 54 yards in those 35 seconds. The 4th touchdown tonight for Soso Jamabo. Plano West Wolves 5 possessions tonight. One of them they ended up punting. The other 4,
Soso.
Oh no,
4 touchdowns.
Not Soso. Good. That's nothing so-so about that.
Here's Davidson. He'll peg it at the north 40, south 40 rather. Kick it from right to left, south to north. Get a big foot into it. And Isaiah Gary will watch it sail overhead into this ball game. Parker Davidson had drilled kickoff touchbacks on 26 of his 59 kickoffs, and he's had a couple of those this evening, and he's been busy. But he's a good kicker, Parker Davidson of Plano West, and it's funny how the worm turns. You know, these two teams played as district competitors in both 2010 and 2011. Hebron won both of them. Looking back at the records, the win for Hebron over Plano West in 2010 kept the goose egg going, and it stayed going. West ended up that year 0-7 in district competition. Not so much in 2014. Here's a direct snap to Garbutt. He'll break to the edge to the left side and not going to get much up the field from the 25, and knocked out of bounds at the 10:09 mark near the 23-yard line. Maybe give him the 24 by a day. Kilpatrick working at that right cornerback position.
It's a diverse defense, isn't it? How fast they run to the football. Not very big. The middle linebacker is a specimen, but the rest of them just fly to the football.
Yeah, I think we'll hear some about Mohamed
Sanogo.
Yeah.
Like Keyshawn Butler's a good looking. Seth Hammond.
Yeah, he is.
It's a good football team right here Mike Hughes has. And John Bandy's defense playing real hard.
Empty the backfield for quarterback Dodd. Go on a jet sweep to Christian Dawson. Wide right, turn it up the gain of 5, give him 6 to the 31, and earn a first down and get a healthy round of applause. Sanogo on the tackle, help from his linebacking partner there, Keyshawn Butler. But that sweep and the quick feet of senior Christian Dawson earns the first Hebron first down in a while.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to figure out what they're going to do when Garbutt's not on the field. That time was Dawson that got outside. And coaching moment down here on the sideline for Hebron. It's what you like to see. You're losing 28-0. Your head coach is sitting with your nose tackle. Let's call the play. I'm sorry, BD.
Oh, no problem. Garbutt slicing off tackle left side. And Belisano now spelling Ed Martin at the weak side linebacker on the tackle, but not before the gain out to the 42-yard line. That's 5 on first down.
And Jarrett Lee, Brian asked, Coach Brazel talked about Jarrett in the pregame and how hard he's played and what a good job he's done. Despondent is the word right now. Just sitting on the end of the bench by himself, and Coach Brazel had his arm around him and said, Jarrett, there's still a half a football game to play. Buddy, don't quit on me. I think just very, very upset by what's going on here. Nobody wants to win more than Jarrett Lee.
Lee, a good one, a returning starter, just a junior. Well, here's Hebron trying to, one more time, turn Christian Dawson loose on something wide, but a whistle, and Smith Holder, our referee, cited in illegality against Hebron. Will be a false start and cost the Hawks 3, 4, and 5 and set the ball down back at the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 10 for the Hawks. Smith Holder wearing the white hat. He's the head of this crew, our referee. The umpire, Tim Adams. Chris Southard, the head linesman across the way with the chain gang. Line judge working our near sideline is Steve Barris. And the back judge, Mr. Justin Jordan.
And frustration from the offensive coaching staff from Hebron. A lot of with the, as you like to tell me, Brad, with the palms up and no one under, I guess a point of contention on the penalty. I didn't see it, but clearly some confusion.
Direct snap is by Garber. He has to reverse and go get it, and is tackled for a big loss on the play by Kilpatrick. That is a day. Coming up from the corner and wrapping up Angelo Garbutt back at the 27-yard line. My goodness, that one just whistled by the left hip of Garbutt.
Didn't look like Angelo was ready for the snap. And again, miscommunication, maybe a little bit wide right. But again, what a nice athletic play by Garbutt to pick the football ball up on the run, or that would have been another turnover for the Hawks.
No, you're exactly right.
Let's just say this. The wheels are off. The wheels are off.
3rd down, 20, Hebron from the 26. Dodd back into the game at quarterback. He'll roll the pocket right, looking, cocking, throwing, complete to the 30-yard line. That is a whole bunch shy from the first down. The gain of only 4, and the pass completed to Derek Mueller, a team-leading 12th catch on the year for Mueller, and the catch is now good for 111 yards.
And that's Hebron's first completed pass, Brad, in about 5.5 quarters.
James Kim, one more time, deep for West, and it's Coyne Harris to punt it away. That's a decent snap, and Harris will unload it on a line to the near boundary. It'll stay on the field of play. In fact, kick between the hash marks from the 45 and inside the 40, and that baby will die of exhaustion at the Plano West 38-yard line. That's a 32-yard punt for Coyne Harris, and leading 28-0 about the midway mark, quarter number 2. Here's Plano West.
Just got to find a way to slow them down if you possibly can, but here comes to number 1 again, so that's going to be hard. You heard Mike Hughes in the pregame show talking about, there's been a bunch of games that he hasn't finished the game because the score has been out of hand.
Don't think he'll finish this one.
No, let's hope not.
Here's a handoff to Jamabo, digging it wide to the right. Boy, that's a nice cut, and a gain of 4, 5, 6, 8. Give him 9 when all's said and done.
And he had nothing. He had nothing and finds a way to get 9 yards.
Omar Hicks-Onu on the tackle.
Holding on for dear life.
And Peter, I think you can illuminate this point perhaps better than I, as much as you like the round ball in the hard wood. Soso Jamabo, basketball player extraordinaire.
Some people say he might be a better basketball player than basketball.
Comary to throw deep over the top and incomplete inside the 20. The coverage from Jelani Heath, the intended receiver, was Justin Fisher.
Got him, just missed the connection. Brad, I got an upset brewing here on the scoreboard, and one that might get you to go, Colleyville Heritage 20, South Lake Carroll 7. That's a second quarter score.
That will, particularly
after last week.
A thread there. I will say, hand off to Soso Jamabo on 3rd down and 1. He picks up 3 to midfield. Tackled by Chris Brayman, who has been employed defensively now for a couple of weeks and has really been visible playing defensive football at defensive end. Comary rolling left, the left-hander square fires, and that's complete. And Isaiah Gary it's incompleted forward pass, because Isaiah Gary really rocked it from the possession of Travis Traylor on the far sideline. Had Traylor been able to hang on, first down Plano West.
Well, that's a Hebron Hawk that's playing with some gusto.
But that was a bring the wood moment for Isaiah Gary. Now 2nd down and 10. Hand to Mabo, steps out of a tackle, veers into Hebron territory at the 45, angling toward the flag. Tackled by Gary. Gary throws down Jamabo beyond the boundary, and there's the late flag. Will cost Hebron 15 on the unsportsmanlike conduct. Late hit.
Trent, you with me?
Peter, it's across the way. We can't see a whole lot of it.
I had the glasses on.
Let me tell you something. If that was one of our guys, would you sing the same song?
I would. I would that time. Jamabo and Gary run into each other full force. Gary makes the tackle. He falls out of bounds. They throw a flag.
All right. I'm on your side then.
Hey, the voice of reason's on my side this time.
15 extra puts it at Hebron's 24-yard line. It's 5:14 mark.
He's pretty good. He doesn't need very much help.
No, he doesn't need a bit of help. Here's Comary in the pocket. Shoots it over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Jamabo at the 10-yard line. Nice cover there by Isaiah Gary. And Jamabo perhaps stunned a little bit as he's slow to get up. Now he's popping up and
lost his
slapping hands with his teammates. And I think it was Gary who perhaps delivered the blow defensively.
I'm not sure Soso knows where he is right now. Wandering back to the huddle.
Second down 10 from the Hebron 24. The West lead 24-0. Or 28-0, beg your pardon.
What you got, buddy?
It's just walking back slow.
Comary,
good tackle.
Little pass caught by Fisher at the 20 and tackled by Jelani Heath at the 19-yard line.
Mike Hughes and Coach Mercer working on the passing game here. They got a 28-0 lead, and, when you have that opportunity, it's in the first half, you really can't question it. So, seeing a little interesting what Comary's doing through the air now. Jamabo's not right.
Here's Comary wanting to throw. Stepping, delivering over the middle, and caught. Was it caught? Hicksonu in the vicinity. No, he strips it away from the receiver there in Travis Traylor. And a flag was down early on the play. The pass will go incomplete if the play stands. Perhaps a dead ball infraction cited before the play got underway.
BD, it's an illegal shift, and it's on Soso Jamambo. He is not right. It's a shoulder. Now, remember, BD, when he got hurt 2 years ago, it was his shoulder, and it was him that time on that play. And I can't believe Smith-Holder threw the flag, number one. He just kind of took a step because he grabbed his shoulder, and he's still holding it. He won't come off the field, but that was the penalty. Now, fourth down.
Going to go field goal unit. Line of scrimmage, the 18. It'll be a 35-yard field goal attempt for Parker Davidson, who, by the way, has converted on 6 of 7 field goal attempts with a long of 52 yards. This one from 35 yards from the hash mark left side. Good snap, good spot. Parker Davidson kick away, end over end. Looks like it's right down Main Street and had 3 and take the Plano West lead to a very robust 31-0 on the 35-yard, beg your pardon, field goal off of the right end step of Parker Davidson. And as I mentioned, now 7 of 8 field goal kicking this year is Davidson. And if you want to make a playoff run, Peter, and I think Plano West will have an opportunity to do this, you need a kicking game, and West has one.
Yeah,
34
very
at halftime. New count, Plano West 31, Hebron nothing.
In Command Broadcasting is a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company providing a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services, including filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate information, infomercials, and other type stuff. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event with In-Command Broadcasting. Trent Lynch.
A long drive for the Plano West Wolves. 9 plays, 43 yards, a minute 42. 35-yard field goal. Parker Davidson, the accurate Parker Davidson, a 31-0 lead. Plano West Wolves, 4:34 left in the first half.
Not only accurate, he just kicked off the ensuing kickoff and banged it to where it finally surfaced maybe a breath in front of the back baseline of the end zone. Karam's out, and on the touchback, Hebron goes to work, trailing 31-0 at the 4.5-minute mark until halftime from the 25-yard line.
Yeah, see what Hebron can do offensively. They got to find a way to keep this defense off the field for a little bit.
Going to go running play, a counter dive, and Angelo Garbett carrying. He's pulled down by the nape of the neck. No horse collar tackle, but shoulder high the tackle. And no gain on the play. In fact, losing a yard as Carson Schreiber penetrated and was able to pull down Angelo Garbett at the 24-yard line. Boy, Hebron would love to see these final 4 minutes evaporate in a hurry, trailing 31-0.
Talked about it on the last possession. They're just not in sync at all offensively right now.
Joe Martin along with Cameron Isom, double tight end. They're both stationed to the left side. But they'll go a little toss, and Angelo Garbett, boy, drawing a crowd, and there's that magnet defensively where 9 are in the box, and they are all watching 22 for Hebron, Angelo Garbett. And when he gets it, boom, they pound on him and get there in a hurry, and a collection of them get there in a hurry, led this time by Keyshawn Butler, the strong side linebacker.
And with an attitude, too. They just come hard and bring the defensive surge, and 6 or 7 around the football that time.
Hebron with their high watermark point production-wise last week with the 37-27 win on the road at Flower Mound. Dodd rolling left, squaring, throwing to the boundary. That's intercepted and falling down in the process at the Hebron 37-yard line, and now really being mobbed by the teammates across the way. A third takeaway on the evening for Plano West defensively, and I will make you a wish.
It is that man again.
That is, which one? Hammond.
Hammond again. Third turnover by himself, 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Went up high to get it, and the pass was intercepted about halfway towards the intended target, Derek Mueller, on the far sideline. Ball goes over 3:02 until halftime. Short field for Plano West, leading 31-0. Working from the Hawk 36. Robert Comary wants a pump fake, wants a throw, and launches a long and incomplete. Omar Hicks-Onu is on the cover. The intended receiver, Bennett DeBro. And it goes as a deep incompletion.
And the frustration level really starting to show on the Hebron Hawk defense. That time, Hicks-Ono took a shot at the wide receiver after the incompleted pass, and just say, hey, you know I'm here.
Running play, Jamabo, right side. Boy, he drew a crowd and just, I think, crumpled down almost on his own. Jarrett Lee leads the gang tackle. No gain, maybe a loss on the play for Soso Jamabo.
I'm telling you, he's something not right with him.
Gimping
now he's
around,
limping.
looking to the sideline. And here he is spelled by Dalvin Billingsley.
That doesn't look good.
Not really, doesn't. Billingsley, 35 carries, 104 yards on the season. Yeah, Jamabo really favoring that left leg, left ankle as he makes his way off. I'd imagine number 1 done for the night.
You would hope.
Unless somebody whispers in his ear that Notre Dame's here.
No. You don't think he knows?
No. You know he knows.
Yeah. Third down.
11. 3rd and 11 for Robert Comary, who wants to throw. And in the pocket, under pressure and hit, and he's sacked for a loss back to the Hebron 40-yard line. 4th down and 14. Caleb Sauter from a secondary in on a blitz and able to wrap up the attempted scramble and abort that rather quickly of Robert Comary.
And Julian Harris also, Brad, in there that time for Hebron. Hey, look, a punt.
Well, we think it'll be a punt. Let's see who's going to punt it away.
Good job by Hebron, Brad. It's got to be tough playing under these conditions.
Yeah, you know it is.
And they don't quit. And Brian Brazel won't let him quit. Eric Malk won't let him quit. And Jamie Carr won't let him quit. They'll play this football game out.
Damon Funjam wears a pair of 8s, the punter. Good snap, gets a kick away. Looking for the Coffin corner, and it tumbles into the end zone. Nice effort by Adae Kilpatrick hustling down, and he nearly caught it over the shoulder inside the 5, but it eludes Adae Kilpatrick and tumbles into the end zone. And Hebron, for a second time tonight, puts the brakes on this potent Plano West offense, forcing a punt and taking over the Hawks for the final 90 seconds of our first half, trailing Plano West 31-0.
Very easy to quit, but you see Coach Mock congratulating his defenders that they come off the field as they're able to force the punt. And that's what you love to see from this Hebron coaching staff.
Looks like Evans working in the backfield. No, that's Pugh, Trey Pugh, sashaying off a right tackle. The gain of only one and a good open field tackle registered by Carson Schreiber, inside, or a linebacker playing inside out, scraping off and upending Trey Pugh. The gain of only one. 2nd down, 9 Hebron. Clock ticking towards the 1 minute mark. First half. 14-0 through 1 quarter. And Plano West has answered with another 17 unanswered thus far in the second frame.
Brad, we're joined by Hebron Hawk head coach,
Glad you
baseball
mentioned
head coach, Steve Stone at halftime. We may put him to work for the whole 24 minutes.
Steve, one of the really good guys, and be fun to talk to him. Look forward to it. Quarterback Dodd wanted to throw and rather quickly, but pressure was there and rather quickly, and he's bagged for a loss. And on the tackle is Jordan Diggs, senior 6'3", perhaps the leader of that front four. Diggs at 6'3", 255 pounds. Started last year at defensive end and slid over now working inside that two technique they call it, defensive tackle for John Bandy as defensive coordinator here in his senior season. A timeout spent by Plano West to freeze the late second quarter clock at the 37-second mark. Along with Pete Nielsen, I'm Brad Denton, sharing the Champion Sports Radio broadcast crew members are the Lynch boys. Trent on my right here working stats, and hustling down is Weston Lynch as we speak, trying to maybe get some halftime words going in from Hawkhead man Brian Brazel.
Your son's a brave man.
Yeah, he is.
I wouldn't want that job right now.
And I think Coach Brazel understands that Weston understands the wave off next time.
Yeah, and
we'll see.
We've seen it, and
if we get
don't be surprised we don't see it tonight.
And I don't think Brian means anything by that, but not sure there's a whole lot to say at the moment. Handed away, Christian Dawson, little attempted reverse and diagnosed and very early by Plano West defensively. Brett Clark, that's a defensive end, and he leads a posse over there, wrapping up Mr. Dawson, and the loss back to the 13-yard line, and confronted with 4th and a dozen at the 32-second mark. The Hebron Hawks will be forced to call on Mr. Coyne Harris or Mr. Jake Gennard to punt it away.
Mike Hughes going for the dagger here, using these timeouts, forcing Hebron to punt the football, and why not with the trouble that Hebron's had with the exchange between the snap and the punter. You don't blame them. I mean, if you can get another score here, make it 38-0, then there's no doubt you don't bring people. Some of you start sitting your starters down.
Peter, through the years, we've seen some very good Plano West teams. I mentioned 2 years ago that team finished 9-5. The winningest team in West history was a decade ago, 2004. Went 10 wins, 2 losses, and lost a tight one in round 2 to Denton Ryan, if you'll recall, 17-14. Ryan's been winning some ball games for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a good program, new coach, and they really haven't skipped the beat very much this year
There's
either.
the snap. Gennard gets a kick away. Boy, and a beauty. His best of the year.
What a punt.
Surfacing in West territory at the 41 and then upfield for 2 hops to the 43-yard line. But a bright spot in a dark night in the first half here, and Jake Gennard ripping off a punt for respectable yardage. I lean on Trent Lynch, who shows me 37 in total, but if he gets a friendly hop, that one's 50+.
And he's been good all year. And Gennard that time, and they came after him, but able to get the ball out past midfield, and let's see what they choose to do here.
Partee and Hickson, who are the safeties. Robert Comary is the West quarterback. And he wants to throw it on first down. He's in the pocket, steps and delivers to the sideline, intercepted. That's Isaiah Gary at the 45, giving ground, trying to return, and goes to the 48-yard line. Isaiah Gary busted in front of the intended receiver, who I believe was Travis Traylor across the way. Comary somewhat telegraphed the pass, and that's nicely done by Isaiah Gary. And remember, that's a kid who's no more than a month removed from thumb surgery.
And we'll see him next year as a Hebron Hawk. And Boy, he's playing hard tonight. He's had a couple good hits. In fact, last series had 2 or 3 good hits, and then that play right there absolutely timed it well. And he's done that a couple times this year, but that time he's able to make the interception.
For Hebron, a 9th takeaway on the year, interception number 6 overall, and a first for Isaiah Gary. It comes with 9 seconds remaining until halftime. And here's Dodd. On first down, whistles will blow, and a dead ball foul, a false start for Hebron. And if Dodd thought he might trigger something deep and hurl up a late second quarter prayer, think again, at least from 5 yards further away.
Just out of sync, Brad. And you didn't see this last week in the victory. Just can't get anything going offensively, and it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, and it's the pre-snap penalties that just wear you out as a head coach, particularly when you're playing game number 8. Here's Dodd. Sets and throws. Near sideline, up for grabs, intercepted. Plano West, Amir Kilpatrick. He has it, and still with the return, second quarter clock expired, and across midfield, and
thankfully
Amir Kilpatrick is rolled up at Hebron's 44-yard line, and we've come to the conclusion of our first half at Hawk Stadium in week number 8, going the way of the Plano West Wolves. Our halftime count, Plano West 31, and Hebron, the Hawks, sitting on a bagel, haven't taken a bite out of it. They are scoreless through 2 quarters. Hebron into it at 1 win, 6 losses, and reverse the mark there. For Plano West, the Wolves have won 6 of their 7 ball games thus far.
Well, I really feel bad for Weston now because Brian Brazel and Smith Holder have just gone nose to nose, and I don't know what it's about. And now Holder, the official, this is something you don't see very often, following Coach Brazel off the field. Weston, don't. Look,
I think
they're still going.
On a lot of those false starts that have been called, the West defense has been coming across the line, and I think Coach Brazel's probably asking for that offsides and forcing Hebron to move when West is making the first move.
Well, as Brad mentioned, we're sort of device here, so we're going to stay here and have a pretty long halftime. Our friend Steve Stone's here already, but Brad, if you would, let's go through the scoring summary real quick. We'll bring Steve in, and we'll put him to work. I'm tired of talking.
We got the scoring summary, and we'll do it quick, and Plano West did it quick. How about first play from scrimmage after the opening kickoff, a touchback to the 25-yard line, and handed off to guess who? Soso Jamabo, sitting on 31 touchdowns coming into the ball game. Out of the first half, he only has 35. Number 32 came on the initial play from scrimmage, a 75-yard touchdown run, and anything but a straight dash, zigging and zagging and making guys miss. And he put up a pretty good argument for being the bluest of the blue chip running backs, not only in the state and the nation, on the 75-yard touchdown run some 16 seconds into the ball game. Parker Davidson's point after touchdown gave West the early 7-0 lead. Later in that first quarter, in fact, at the 2-minute 30-second mark after a turnover, West mounts yet another one-play drive, this one from 41 yards away, and those 41 steps taken on a dash by guess who? Soso Jamabo. Parker Davidson's point after touchdown took us to the end of the first quarter with Plano West the 14-0 lead. The Hawks pile on an additional 17 second quarter points, getting started only 5 seconds into that second quarter, culminating a 2-play 11-yard drive off yet another Hawk turnover, and the 8-second drive culminated on the 3-yard Soso Jamabo touchdown run. Davidson point after touchdown, 21-0. Wolves take it to 28-0 on their next possession as they score at the 10-17 mark of our second quarter on a 5-play 54-yard drive. This one took only a minute 35 seconds. The touchdown run, 2 yards. Soso Jamabo, his fourth here in the first half of play. It comes right above the 10-minute mark. Second quarter, 28-0 Plano West, and West completes the arrangements for a halftime count with a very nice 35-yard field goal off of the right instep of Parker Davidson. 35-yard field goal kicked at the 4:34 mark of our second quarter. And Jamabo responsible for 24 points, and hey, the other 8 points, other 7 points are
Parker Davidson
off the instep of a good kicker in Parker Davidson. So, Peter, that's where we sit. Plano West, a good football team, about to ring up an 8th victory, or rather a 7th victory, and this is their 8th start of the year. And I can promise you they're kind of peeking around the corner and thinking, hey, Allen comes to our place next Friday night. This is going to be fun.
Speaking of the Allen Eagles, Brad, let's look at some scores around the district. Allen leading Flower Mound 21-10. Boyd and Marcus, a game with some playoff ramifications. Boyd leads Marcus. A little bit of surprise here, 20-6. That's a halftime score. And then the other game in the district, two teams playing out the string, so to speak, is Plano East 27, Louisville 21. And Brad, with all the excitement of the World Series now and baseball just around the corner, heck, it's only 3 or 4 months away, pleased to be joined by a good friend of yours and mine, and a young man that had a baseball team make a pretty good run last year in the playoffs. We were part of it. It was a lot of fun. And, of course, talk about the longtime head coach here at Hebron High School, Steve Stone, and welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
Steve, what, 14th year coming up, 14th season, varsity baseball?
I've lost count.
It's 14. You know, you might be like me at work, and I've been where I work forever. And somebody finally asked me, have you been here all your life? And I said, no, not yet.
Yeah, not quite.
But no, it will be, and I have counted them. Coming up, 2015, the spring, get this thing rolling with January workouts, and that really is around the corner. And then we'll get started again, and it'll be fun. 23rd season overall as a baseball coach. I know you really haven't been here forever, and I know you grew up in the greater Houston area.
That's right.
I know you brought your baseball talent up here to North Central Texas and played, in the old Southwest Conference for the TCU Horned Frogs.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Not that long ago. What, mid to later 80s?
Right, yeah. I graduated in 88. Played in 85 to 88. It was a good time.
It was a real good time.
Yeah.
I bet we could sit and talk Southwest Conference baseball.
Yeah, I miss the old Southwest Conference days.
Have some fun. But what? Southern suburbs of Houston was where you called
Yeah, I grew up
home
in South Houston near Pasadena. That's really where I got to know Coach Brazel.
Really?
He was at a rival high school, at Sam Rayburn High School. So
now, what was your high school, Steve?
I was South Houston High School.
There it was.
Yep.
And a pretty good catcher, by the way.
I was a little catcher, little veer quarterback. We had a lot of fun.
Mr. Seastone, aren't you glad you got to know Brian Brazel?
No
you
doubt.
guys, things change. Things have changed at Hebron, but the stability of Coach Brazel as the athletic coordinator, head football coach, Coach Bishop with the basketball program,
That's right.
and Coach Stone with the baseball program. There's a certain amount of stability here that's just very attractive, not only to those on the inside, but those looking in from the outside.
There's a reason for that stability, too, and it's Coach Brazel. He's a good man, and most of you out there listening know that, it's who you work for. And he's a great boss, and this is a great school.
Well, and you guys are a big part, and you guys meaning the Stone family, of the fabric at Hebron High School. Your wife, Lisa, also an educator at Hebron High School.
That's right. We definitely bleed blue, black, and silver. There's no doubt.
And then you got one who, I'm going to miss him wearing the blue, black, and silver in Travis, a freshman playing baseball. Stephen F. Austin, how's his first semester of college baseball going?
He's enjoying it a lot. He likes everything about it. He likes the school. He likes the baseball. It's a good fit for him. It looks like it's going to be a great fit for him.
And those collegiate baseballers are pretty doggone busy through the fall, aren't they?
Yeah, he doesn't have a downtime at all. But he's enjoying it. He's a baseball nut, so that's perfect for him.
But there's still somebody who's going to be calling you dad on your baseball roster. And,
that's right.
And the young one, Austin.
Austin's a junior this year, so I got 2 more years with him.
Pete, we had fun following these Hawks in the spring of 2014. Their overall record ended up being 23-16. And you say, that's pretty good. You always want to win more than you don't, and Hebron certainly did. But you win enough in a tough district to advance. And then you really made some hay, and what fun we had. One of the lower seeds advancing out of what was then District 5-5A, and you sort of raised some eyebrows in the near community, but even afar, saying, who are these guys knocking off a top seed in Colleyville Heritage in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you know, we knew that we were in a tough district, and we had played Colleyville Heritage early in the year and had a lot of success against them. So being the 4 seed, knowing that we were matching up with their district champion, really wasn't anything threatening to our guys because they had success.
They'd seen some good baseball
and,
teams.
You know, what those kids think in their minds is more important than anything else. So they had a good vibe going into that series, and it proved to play out that way as well.
Peter, we were able to cover the second round Midlothian series, and just moments that I just treasure. The game 1 win here, even treasure going over there to that snake pit on a Friday night and losing game number 2, but some kids grew up that night.
Yeah, that was fun.
I remember the best part about that trip is Coach Stone and I had more conversations than he did with his kids that night because we kept waiting for the lightning to pass, and unfortunately out there where we were, they had no lightning detector, so they were looking at a forecast, and Trent and I could have told them it wasn't going to rain and it was no lightning, and it never did. And we finally got done at, 11:30, and we had to come back here and play over at Jesuit. And I tell you what, I know that was one of the best baseball games you've been a part of, and I know Brad's been a part of. And I can still remember the call that Brad had of winning that game late in the game. It was a lot of fun.
It was one of the special moments in my 3.5 decades of broadcasting schoolboy sports, because there's so much magic. And quickly to set the scene, it's game 3 and a best of 3 against a really good Midlothian team. I mean, a team that was 28-4 or some such into the series, and you battled with them, and the series was even home and home at a game apiece. And here the third game in 3 days, and it stays at a neutral field down there at Jesuit on a Saturday afternoon.
Perfect day.
In early May is beautiful, and you got your kiddo Travis just being a bulldog out there on the mound, and one of those really good seniors that you lost off that roster was Travis, but you had to battle back late and fight this thing, and it was the yearling, the freshman that got the ringing base hit that it was just such a moment, Steve.
Yeah.
Because you had a pinch runner by the name of Austin Stone at first base.
Yeah, it was a special day for sure, and I remember being extremely hot on that turf, and it wasn't looking good, down 4-1 there or 4-0 late, and it's amazing how things can change in just a couple seconds.
Boy, I mean, the Zach DeLoche just turned on one and hit a line drive that the first baseman heard whistle by about waist high, and it's rattling around that left field corner, and by golly, they were down by 2 were the Hawks, and a runner scores in front of Austin Stone, but what a picture in my mind that'll never go away, seeing you down there windmilling Austin around third, and he looking like something out of a cartoon with the wheels turning.
Right.
And then him going in with a reach-out slide and getting there and saying safe, ball game tied, and then you get a run later in the inning, and then get Travis out there and able to settle those guys down and get those last 3 outs, and hello, round 3. It's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and definitely something our players and I will definitely remember.
Steve, let's talk about the 2015 Hawks, and I've got my score sheet from when you did lose finally in the 4th round of the playoff to that really good district competitor in the Marcus Marauders, 2-1, and I look at a leadoff hitter that we're seeing play football here in Derek Mueller, came up from JV, mid-year, and really played well for you.
For us. He was kind of a spark that got us going halfway through district. We knew we needed something to kind of jumpstart us, and I had no idea he was going to come in there and do the things that he did, but he was consistent from the beginning to the end.
And if there's one thing about Derek Mueller I've learned through the baseball season and then this football season, that's a kid that loves to compete. If you were spitting at cracks on the sidewalk, he'd probably want to join in.
There's no doubt. Yeah, he's a tough kid, tough-minded kid, and those kinds of things help.
2-hole hitter, comes back for a senior year, and a good left fielder in Justin Rath.
Yeah, and Justin was actually hurt the whole year. He had a hamstring issue the whole year, but kind of gutted it through and dragged his leg around.
Never knew it.
Dragged it because he's really built around speed, and we weren't able to run with him or anything. So Justin's going to be a big addition as well.
Another one of the youngsters who was just an RBI machine last year, as a sophomore, playing either corner, third base or first base and helping you out in the pitching department in the New Stifter youngster, Michael New Stifter. And
there's not enough I can say about Michael.
He's just special.
Michael's definitely who you want up at the plate when you got runners in scoring position. He's got ice in his veins. Yeah, he's a good one, and he's going to continue to be a good one.
And are you pleased he doesn't play football? Because he definitely has the frame to play football.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Yeah,
he's a big kid. I don't have to worry about him getting hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, 6'2", pushing 200.
Yeah,
hit 378 on the year.
6'3" now and about 210, and just a
growing into that body.
Just hope he has another 40 RBI campaigns in him for you.
That'd be nice.
You'd take that, wouldn't you? And then I mentioned what a contribution your oldest, Travis, made to your program, not just his senior year, but all 4 years. I remember you wringing your hands saying to me, I hate to bring up a freshman to play in my infield, but I have to. And I've talked to Coach Farley, said, you got to go do it, Steve. There's no ifs and buts about it. We got to have a kid that can catch the ball and throw it across the infield, and he could, and he did.
Yeah, he did, and he was really good for us, and I know he's my son, and I always kind of walked on eggshells when I talked about him, but I was very proud
of him.
He's
gone. You can talk to him.
Talk about him now.
He definitely has that competitive edge where sometimes it can get him in trouble. He's a little too competitive at times, but it is what makes him a really good ball player.
You go up in this lineup and you find a kid that kind of just took all of our hearts a little bit, and it's just, in a word, talent of the then freshman now into his sophomore year in Zach Deloche, and you just got to sit there
to watch him grow during the year, because he really struggled early on, but boy, once he got going about halfway through district, he ended up being really one of our kingpins in our lineup.
And good on the mound, too.
On the mound, he really didn't have very many innings during the year, and we went ahead and took a chance in that first game
found
against Colleyville Heritage. We have Wednesday scrimmages throughout the district season to let guys pitch that hadn't pitched a lot, and he was just dominating our hitters during those scrimmages, so it was time to get him out there, and he has ice in his veins as well.
A good move.
Yeah. That's one that turned out well.
Yeah, you're a good baseball coach, but you just got better with people like Travis and Stifter and Deloche, and you return your backstop, and a kiddo that does really well behind the plate in Ross Lau.
He's a backstop, and he throws well enough to where people don't just take off on us, and he gets some big hits for us.
He did in that game.
And he got the game-winning RBI in that Midlothian game, and he does some good things for us, and a hard-working kid.
I got to ask, there's a rumor about something special moving around to play baseball for you. Is there any truth to that? You got a new pitcher showed up on campus?
Yeah, we've got a couple kids that moved here, one from Plano and one from Coppell, and they're both, I think, going to fit in well with our rotation. Yeah, that's going to be good.
That's awesome. So a lot of returners that got a taste of it, and I want to make a comment to you while I have this opportunity. And I've told Brad this, I've told Trent this, and Weston, you know how dear they are to your program. And Thomas Lee and I went. That's the Westonian. That's his new nickname. So Thomas Lee and I had an opportunity to go down and work state championship. We were doing Marcus all year, and we sat and we watched, and Brad talked about how tough our district was all year. And when you guys got into the playoffs, there was nothing you hadn't seen. I got to tell you something, and I hadn't told anybody. Only this group right here in Thomas have I had this conversation. I think all four teams that went to the playoffs in our district would have went down to Austin and won the state championship. That's how good that district was. It was uncompetitive. Those other two teams that Marcus that Flower Mound played in the semifinals and finals.
Right. Well, Flower Mound definitely got hot at the right time.
The pitch.
Marcus, pitching wise, they were the class of the state. They struggled hitting early in the year, but once they started kind of figuring out the offensive part of the game, they were pretty untouchable. And once about halfway through the playoff run, they just really didn't get challenged after that.
And the bad news is a bunch of those kiddos, they lose the big three, but the kid that carried them through the playoffs offensively, Seth Weimer, the first baseman,
he's back.
He's figured it out.
He's their stud on the mound.
Yeah, he's pretty good. The district, once again, and we will be part of it. I know we will, Champion Sports Radio. I cannot wait to the spring. It's going to be special.
It's fun, and it's going to be great with District 6-6A. A couple of things, and I don't want to hurt a kid's feelings because the man at the bottom of the batting order throws up too.
Josh
and what a little second sacker.
He's been a mainstay for us for 2 years. He's a little dude with a big heart, and I think you're going to see him this year really flourish, and I think you're going to see a kid that helps us offensively a lot too.
Steve, I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to first let you brag about one of yours because we're all proud of him. And he's a kiddo that has been up and made a difference again professionally in 2014. The situation reliever, the left-hander for the St. Louis Cardinals, one of yours in one Sam Freeman.
Yeah, Sam Freeman had a fantastic year. You know, he got called up in early in the season, and he really got called up just because somebody got hurt. But he pitched so well that he never went back down, and he made a name for himself this year and finally stuck. And well, talk about a hard-working kid.
Well, there you go.
You know, he was our number 2 pitcher in 2005. Hated to pitch, didn't like it at all, and I told him back then. I said, "There's going to come a day where they take that bat out of your hand," and he said, "Oh, that's never going to happen." And he's really made a name for himself.
A Sammy Freeman stat for this year that I know you probably know this. I think he pitched 38 innings, struck out 35. Ask me how many he walked.
Big bagel.
A big bagel.
There was.
That's hard work, and that's a young man that's come a long way. I remember when Sam Freeman played in Carrollton Pony baseball with Rusty McGee and that whole bunch,
right.
and Justin Petruk and that bunch. And there's some Hebron names there. Yeah, that was a great bunch that came through here, but Sam Freeman stays at it, and props to him.
I mean, I always bring out the...
We're actually going to retire his number this year.
Well, you might should.
Good old number 4 is not going to get one anymore.
I always talk about the program's high water mark. And for Hebron baseball, as far as wins and losses were concerned, that was the high water mark in 2005. Man, were you guys loaded. I think it ended up 28 wins, 5 losses.
Something like that. They were a special group, talented group, and a hard-working group.
Well, hang that out in front of these 2015 ball club and say, here's your objective.
We're excited about it.
Was that the group before you go? Was that the group that you had to drive all over to Metroplex to play a playoff game because of rain?
We ended up in Stephenville.
I remember that story.
Yeah, that was it. Steve Stone, one of the really good guys, and Hebron's very fortunate to have him, and we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with Steve. And if you were, from our perspective in the press box, high above the west side, we can see right down into Hawk Stadium, and always wanted to get to know the guy that took care of that place, and congratulations. Hope your ball club can play as beautiful as your field is.
Yeah, I got an armadillo out right now to tear down my infield. If you could camp out here tonight and maybe get a BB gun and get it, that would help.
Well, this is the first time we've been here all year and the lights aren't on, so you're not going to find them in the dark.
That's fun. That's fun. I had a kiddo that in Blake that got to go through your program for all 4 years, graduated in 2000.
Center fielder.
And 9 played center field for you.
Little second baseman. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about being a coach is seeing those guys grow up, go off to college, even start families, and then come back and be a part. Because this is a program's about family, and this is an extended family for those guys.
Steve, there's no question anybody who plays for you, if they're paying attention, they know how much you love them.
Yeah, I do love them.
Hey, I know you do, and you're in it for all the right reasons, and we're glad we're a part of it. Pete?
So from one quality coach to one that might not is a quality coach, but is not nearly as happy. Let's go down the field with Weston and Brian Brazel.
Coach Brazel, not the first half you're looking to have. A lot of self-inflicted errors, playing behind the chains, defensively, tough time slowing down Jamabo. What do you do in the second half to get them coming?
Well, I just told the kids after they made it for, we just got to keep playing. We can't control what's the score. All we can do is control the next play. How hard we're going to play the next play, put ourselves in position, and quit making mistakes. We're relying ourselves, whether they're barking signals or not, that's hurting us. Our offensive line is jumping, and that's putting us in bad situations there, and that's happened more than once. How that's illegal, I don't understand. But they got a good football team, and, we're just going to keep battling. It's 31-0. And show we're made it. That's all we can do. And you know what? These kids are going to keep battling. They fought. There's been no quit in them, and there's going to be no quit in them. So we're going to continue to go. And we're going to get after them in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Second half.
All right.
Hebron head coach Brian Brazel, and all season we've talked about the frustration level, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen Coach B with have such an extended conversation after the end of a half, and I think a lot of it has to do with some chatter. Weston talked to Coach Brazel, and there's some chatter on the defensive line. And, the defensive line's talking, and it's causing the Hawk offensive line to jump. And Weston said he could hear it. And that's, so Brian was trying to get his, Smith Holder has seen everything.
He's been around.
He's been around as long as we have, well, as long as you have. But and don't take that the wrong way. But it's frustrating, and it's frustrating. I'm telling it wouldn't be nearly as frustrating probably to Coach Brazel if it wasn't 31-0. But it's just another thing. It's just another challenge that they're having to put up with this year. They haven't got. If you ask him, they haven't gotten very many calls. They haven't gotten many breaks, and I think he's at his boiling point. Trent, got some numbers for us, buddy?
I do have some numbers, and
not a lot of Plano West numbers, and not so many Hebron numbers.
Not pretty for the Hebron Hawks. First half, 6 first downs, and just so you guys know, 4 of those came in the first drive that Hebron had the ball. 27 rushing attempts, only 36 yards, a lot of negative yardage plays, which have put the Hebron Hawks in some pretty long down and distance situations, second and third down, and
20.
It's been difficult for them. So 36 yards on 27 carries, only 1.3 yards per carry, and throwing the ball 1 for 5 for 4 yards. But the issue is 3 of those 5 passes have been intercepted by the Plano West Wolf defense, along with the fumble in the first half. 4 turnovers for the Hebron Hawks in the first half, and we don't see that very often out of the Hebron Hawk ball club. And I think it's probably a sophomore quarterback who's feeling a little bit back there, some mishandled snaps and some interceptions. Maybe feeling pressure to throw the ball after no receptions last week in the victory.
And not much running game to balance out anything. And as Pete mentioned, that's an offense that has been, and speaking kindly here, out of sync most of the evening. Plano West answers with 8 first downs, 4 of those on touchdown runs, 13 carries, 141 yards. So, Jamabo himself threw 7 ball games, averaging 11.3 yards per carry. His ball club tonight, and he doing most of the damage, averaging on 13 carries, 10-plus yards for 141 overall. West completes 3 of their 11 passes. The completion is good for 60 yards. So Plano West, even with the 201 total offensive yards first half, still below the average. This is a team that averages 450 yards per ball game. Plano West fumble-free, but not turnover-free. They did throw the second quarter interception, which was a bright moment for Hebron, the pick to Isaiah Gary late in that second quarter. Individually, how about Mr. Jamabo? I don't know if we see much more of him.
I doubt we do. One, with the lead that the Wolves have right now at the end of the first half, 31-0 versus the Hawks. But secondly,
he was wobbly.
He was a little wobbly, and then it looked like on his last carry he twisted his ankle or hurt his lower leg a little bit and really limped off the field. So I would doubt with this lead that we'll see Soso Jamabo back in the ball game. But the
4 touchdowns, now 35 of those on the year.
Colmary's been sacked a couple times, 2 sacks, and ended up in a loss of 9 yards. But, on the other side, Colmary has not been that effective passing the ball. 2 for 10 for 19 yards. They got their yardage passing the ball from Dubrow.
Yeah, Bennett Dubrow on a wide receiver reverse pass that was thrown deep, and it was completed for 41 yards, and it gave Plano West a first down and goal on what would be a second quarter touchdown at about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Ali caught that pass for the 41 yards, 2-yard line, and next thing you know, Jamabo's in for a touchdown. Soso Jamabo also has a catch for 14 yards on a nice screen pass, and then Heath has a catch for 5 yards. So Soso Jamabo, 162 of the 201 yards.
And I would say that would be about an average percentage of what he is for Mike Hughes and offensive coordinator Kelly Mercer. You talked about, and we have talked about, the consistency of Brian Brazel at Hebron. Same can be said about Plano West. John Bandy is in his 10th season as the defensive coordinator for the West Wolves, and Kelly Mercer make it a 13th season, matching step-for-step head coach Mike Hughes as Kelly Mercer, 13th year as the West offensive coordinator. And you get a lot of things out of the way you don't even have to talk about when you have that kind of consistency between your head coach and your coordinators.
Yeah, and I tell you what, solid coaching staff, consistent coaching staff, who came with the game plan of let's beat Soso Jamabo, and you don't see too many backs that can accelerate like Soso Jamabo does once he gets through the line. And Isaiah Gary's a fast kid, defensive backfield for the Hebron Hawks, and on one of those runs, Jamabo just ran away from him.
I look forward to following Plano West as we go forward from here. Simply to have Jamabo, I'd love to be there next week when Allen comes to town, when a Soso Jamabo is forced to play all 4 quarters and leave it all out there. Pete?
Yeah, and that's a really, really good point, Brad, because there's only been a couple games that he's had to do that, and the one game that Plano West did lose was against Plano, and they stifled them that night, and it's just interesting how they were able to do that.
Just one comment on the West defense tonight. Hebron Hawks, 49 yards on their first drive.
Wow.
Drive number 2, -4. Drive number 3, -4. Drive number 4, 0. The next 2 drives, a combined 6 yards. Their 7th drive, -7 yards. And their final drive of the interception there before the half, 0 yards. So that Plano West Wolf defense has been pretty tremendous as well. Nobody's really locked up Garbett like Plano West has tonight.
And offensively for Plano West, and Pete, we talked about most of their wins have been lopsided. There's been times they've given up considerable points, but listen to the point production on the year, and what a just out of nowhere the loss to Plano was after winning the first 4, scoring 44 against Mesquite, 63 over Saxe, 42 against Plano East in the district opener. And remember, McKinney Boyd was going to, let's see how these guys get together. How about Plano West 62 and Boyd 30?
And go back to that game. That was a game that I was going nuts over the running back from Boyd, who had over 350 yards. Soso had 400 that night.
And then that strange loss to Plano, and take nothing away from Joy McCullough's ball club. And I think for a night they played even better than they can, and they can play pretty doggone well. But
defensively, they're really good.
They spanked Plano West's offense right down into just almost submission comparative to what they have done week in, week out. Plano wins that game in week number 5 by a final count of 17-14. Jamabo doesn't even get 100 yards.
And let's just go right to the point here. Weston Lynch all over it. Soso Jamabo on the sideline. No pads. He's done.
The last couple of weeks, how about 54 points a couple of weeks ago in the win over Marcus, 54-32, and defeating the Farmers of Louisville last week. Couple of nickels on the board, 55 and 22. The Plano West win. So hanging 31 on the first half scoreboard. Perhaps a little above average, but again, this team is just a couple of breaths shy of averaging half 100 every 4 quarters.
And as the band plays on, and as the it's just, is it me or the halftimes just go on forever?
And the band played on.
And the plays on. Brad, while you got a moment, why don't you thank our proud sponsors, because they're finally done.
I'd be pleased to. The Hebron Hawks right here on Champion Sports Radio. It's a broadcast of Louisville Independent School District, which is brought to you in part by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. Get a new or used Jeep Dodge Chrysler or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, and you get a reliable and a stylish new car, and you'll get that at a price that won't break the bank. Also by Whirly Ball, with 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hurst. Leagues forming at either location as we speak. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. That's fun. In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. Online at incommandbroadcasting.com. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products online at pointoforigindesign.com. We do appreciate your support of Hebron High football. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. By the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience. Bring your family and do it all at a really good price. Visit gdyo.org for more information. Hebron Hawk Football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. That concludes our halftime programming, which has been presented by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, along with Pete Nielsen, Brad Denton, Weston Lynch, and Trent Lynch. Also join us. We collectively are Champion Sports Radio, both ball clubs back on the field. You see across the way, and you mentioned that, Pete, Mr. Jamabo is going to call it a night with his 4 touchdowns and 148 yards rushing.
That might be his low. Besides the Plano game, that might be his low for the season. So, and a half is pretty darn good. Hebron will, if you remember, Hebron won the toss, chose to defer, and will receive the second half kickoff.
Ought to be some fun. I see Hicks Omar Hicks Onu is deep along with Isaiah Gary. And for Plano West, the kicker that we were very impressed with in the first half of play, one Mr. Parker Davidson, will peg it up at the south 40 and kick from our right to left. Plano West in the white jersey covering black trousers. Hebron answers with a black jersey on top of royal blue trousers, either ball club with a black headgear. Plano West with the headgear with the trim in white and a wolf head on either side. There's the kickoff, high, and driving Hicks Onu 7-8 yards deep in the end zone. He'll go down on a knee, and Hebron will bring out an offense which features Brian Drew at center, Jarrett Farley and Devin Wright, the Hawk guards, and operating at tackles are Hayden Seeley and Freddie Danchez. Richard Dodd will open at quarterback, Angelo Garbett in the backfield, a wide receiving core of Derek Mueller and Jalen Slater, and a tight end of Joe Martin and or Nathan Grant and or Cameron Isom, depending on the alignment. Jacob Ragsdale onto the field to open at fullback. And no Richard Todd. No, there's Todd in to go under center. Brian Drew and working from the 25, initial snap, back half. Running play, Garbett for 2-3, maybe off right tackle. And he's met by that middle linebacker, Mohamed Sonogo. And also late help from Seth Hammond, who we've been most impressed with.
Yeah, he's a good player. And, Trent talked about the defense. And, I don't think anybody ever talks about the Plano West defense because all they talk about is number one. And they're pretty darn good.
They are.
They're running the football. And when they get there with an attitude.
I think we'll see a lot of clean West jerseys, both sides of the football here in the second half. Here's a run and a Garbett carry and a gain out to the 34, and that's a real argument in traffic put up by Angelo Garbett, running for out to the 34-yard line from the 29, ending up a yard shy. 3rd and 1 Hebron from the Hawks 34, early third quarter. This one out of the balance with Plano West, the 31-0 lead. Brett Clark, Lavelle Ramsey, the defensive end, Jordan Diggs, along with Marco Saracini, digging in at defensive tackles for West. Hebron needs a yard, 3rd and 1. There's a snap, a Garbett carry, a first down, head down, big collision in the neutral zone, and Garbett has the leverage and drives for the gain of 2. And a first down. That was Tyler Campbell up there, and he got a full flush blow from the running back, Angelo Garbett.
Angelo gets up looking maybe a little bit out of his ear hole that time because he delivered such a blow. But you got to, very easy for a young man to say, you know what, it's 31-0. I got my 1,000 yards. Not that young man. He has been this way all season long, and you feel bad for all the Hebron Hawks. But, boy, that young man plays hard every single play.
In fact, Campbell, who took the brunt of the ball to the sideline.
Look out.
Here's Garbett and somebody in the backfield in a hurry and roughing him up. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's Amir Kilpatrick. Amir, along with Ade, the brothers, working defensively at the Plano West corner positions. Tyler Campbell, by the way, is spelled by Jared Valisano at safety. Let's keep an eye on Balisano, wearing number 24.
Keith Thomas is checked in for Jarrett Farley from Hebron, who's come out of the game. Not sure what's wrong with Jarrett, but he went right to the bench, so we'll see.
Haven't seen a lot of Keith Thomas, a senior, 6'2", 245, digging in there at right guard.
He was fired up when he got the tap on the shoulder, I promise you that.
Oh, a mis-exchange, center to quarterback, loose ball. And quarterback Dodd can't recover it.
22.
Plano West does inside the 35. That's Ed Martin, an outside linebacker.
Yeah, that's just a malfunction at the junction, as the great Mickey Timms would say. And the outside line, the weak side linebacker, Ed Martin, on the recovery. The senior came into the game with 64 tackles for these Wolves and 2 quarterback sacks. That's his first fumble recovery.
That's a season-high 5 turnovers for Hebron here in 2+ quarters tonight. And here's Comary and West. And that's a new running back, and that's good penetration. Jarrett Lee and some friends up front. And they will wrestle down Bremen.
But Bremen's been unblockable in the last 2 games. He is really, he's an outstanding fullback, but I like him on the defensive side of the ball, lining up as a defensive end.
Spelling Jamabo is Dalvin Billingsley, and his first carry a loss of 3. Here's Comary in the pocket, hit by Jared Lee and buried for a sack. Back at the 42. Big-time pressure from Corey Eberhardt to chase the quarterback into the grasp, and that's a jarring blow on the sack of Jarrett Lee. Eberhardt comes off the edge and beating Izu Kim, who could just watch the quickness of Eberhardt fly by him.
And perhaps a challenge put out by defensive coordinator Eric Mock, as they're playing with a little bit of edge right now.
Comary going to roll left, going to scramble. And on 3rd down and 17, he'll pick up 5, and Partee on the open field tackle of the runaway left-handed senior quarterback and a good-sized youngster at 6'3", 195, Robert Comary of West.
Here's another fresh jersey for Hebron checking in on a defensive line position. Kyle Musell playing some defensive line for Hebron, and it looks like the Wolves are going to punt.
Junior digging into it. No, they're going to bring out
this.
Why not? Davidson for a 52-yard field goal attempt, which would match his season high from the right hash mark out of a Fonchow hold. Good snap, spot down. Davidson on the way. That one looks to have the distance, and he is good from 52 yards away. Very nicely done. Parker Davidson, a second field goal of the night, and take the West lead to 34-0 on a 52-yard field goal for Parker Davidson, who has now made 8 of 9 field goal attempts in 2014. Comes at 7:34 the 3rd quarter, and again, Plano West extends the lead to 34-0 over Hebron.
A big thanks to Steve and Barb Hill at Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point. So visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com and let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com. Trent Lynch.
Well, a high kickoff, and one more time, a deep kickoff from Parker Davidson, and touch it out to 25 for the Hebron possession on the touchback.
A little different offense for Plano West on that one was Jamabo out. 4 plays, -2 yards on the drive. However, they still have Parker Davidson, who hit a 52-yard field goal for those Plano West Wolves, up 34-0, 7:34 left in the 3rd quarter. And that, you can tell, he's got a leg just the way it comes off of his foot. That ball's hit solid every time.
Yeah, he's good. He's a senior, not real big youngster.
Looks like
Davidson listed 5'11" and 150.
When he's hitting it good, it looks like a Brad Denton tee shot.
Well, it looks like a new quarterback for Hebron in the ball game is Colton Chapin to work the series. It's a running play. off of a little toss, and a carry for Angelo Garbett, and a tackle, one more for Keyshawn Butler, an outside linebacker, but a gain of a half dozen out across the 30 to the Hawk 31-yard line for one Angelo Garbett.
What's his numbers now, Trent?
He has 21 carries for 68 yards.
And a whole lot of heart.
Yeah, sure enough. And again, for a second consecutive series, Jarrett Farley absent at right guard. Keith Thomas working. Again, running play, Garbett outside, right side. Can't get away from a very determined Kilpatrick. Amir on the corner. Good open field stop. Got a hold of Angelo and slid off the legs, but held on to the jersey and able to pull the Hawk running back down right on top that same line of scrimmage. Third down 4 from Hebron's 31.
BD, in a season of bad news and bad breaks for Hebron, I got bad news.
Well,
believe it or not.
It's not like I hadn't heard some before. Lay it on me.
Nose tackle Jarrett Lee, who plays his heart out every down, over here with his shoe off, and it doesn't look good on the trainer's table.
Working that right ankle and going to put some tape on it, and we'll see if we do see any more of one Jarrett Lee. Boy, there's a shotgun snap, bobbled, dribbled by Chapin. Hidney fumbles, and a 6th turnover on the fumble recovery of Jared Balisano. A backup linebacker is coughing it up after dribbling a snap is Colton Chapin, and then after he picked up the snap, almost a Marcus Haynes dribble, and he tried to roll it to the left side. Demaria Lambert got in the backfield with penetration and poke checked that thing away and loose from Chapin, and it's recovered by Balisano. And look at the short field for West, working off the turnover from Hebron's 21. Colmerrick to throw to the post and incomplete. Tipped and intercepted by Hicks Onu. Tipped by Caleb Sauter. The pass was inside the 10 near the 8-yard line, intended for Andrew Gillespie. But in a crowd, as I mentioned, tipped by Sauter and intercepted off the deflection by Hicks Onu.
I know it's unprofessional for the route to a play, but why are you throwing the ball 34-0?
I don't have an answer for that.
Good play by Hicks Ono. Nice play by Kyle Sauter on that one as well. And just Hebron's defense just won't quit. And I'll be honest with you, Caleb Sauter, made a nice play. They do Hebron a break. They give Hebron a break when they don't run the football. The pass defense has been solid all night.
Yeah, between Hicks Onu and Gary Johnson, Jelani Heath, Caleb Sauter.
Haven't seen very much of Johnson tonight. Jordan Johnson.
Going to go to work. Chapin again the series, and from the 2-yard line after the takeaway, a dead ball foul, and Hebron to be cited for illegal substitution. And so the infraction, not particularly costly, half the distance to the goal, only a yard lost, and now first down and 11 from the 1-yard line. And again, Colton Chapin working the series at quarterback. He's under center, and he'll go on a little toss to Garbett. He's trying to get out of the end zone and won't. And West will register the safety. Amir Kilpatrick, a supporting corner and arriving with some attitude a couple of yards deep in the end zone. He got a hold first of Garbett and wouldn't let go, and here came the posse to help him and throw the arms up in the air and call it a safety for Plano West at the 5:46 mark of a third quarter. That's worth a deuce, and the West lead now 36-0.
Just nowhere for Angelo to go that time. They 9-10 maybe in the box that time, and he tried to bust it outside, and there was just nowhere for him to go, and tackled deep into the end zone that time.
And again, I'm going to credit the tackle there to Amir Kilpatrick.
BD, this broadcast is sponsored by our friends at ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it's the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today.
Peter, I turned the head and just made eye contact with our remote engineer producer, one Weston Lynch, and his look said just exactly this. Hebron playing as if they expect disaster, and throughout the evening, disaster certainly obliged.
And, when you come in with the great attitude after the win, and in the first play you get gashed for 75 yards. It's like it's a kick right in the head to start the football game. I don't think they've ever recovered from that.
This is Kyler Terry. He's going to use a punt to get it away, and a rather short punt off of a shoulder pad of one west player near midfield, and it caroms into the grasp of Kyler Campbell, and Campbell from his 45 across midfield and knocked off his feet by Antoine Partee at the Hebron 48-yard line from right there at 5:42 third quarter.
I think you finally got a new quarterback out there.
Plano West leading 36-0, and a fresh.
No, that's him.
And no, that's Robert Comary to work the series.
It was 18, but it's 16. My fault.
5:42 first. Going to throw it this way. That's caught in the flat. And a move made and a zig and a zag. And from the 48, the gain of 5. Tackle to Hicks Onu. On the catch is Yosei Ali. His second catch of the night. This good for 5 yards. He now with 2 balls good for 46 yards on the night.
And Plano West goes to the hurry-up offense up 36-0.
Here's quarterback Comary after a fake inside, keeps it wide left. Look out, he's on his way. 30, 20, flag down very late, and Comary dances down the sideline
it's
for
the
what
right
apparently is a 43-yard touchdown run, but well behind the play, and I mean 20 yards behind the play.
Trent and I both saw it, B.
A late flag, and it was thrown at the feet of Dalvin Billingsley, who is spelling Jamabo in the backfield with a senseless block in the back.
Well, the amazing thing was the flag was not thrown until Coach Brazel was about 10 yards off of the sideline onto the field.
And he wasn't going to throw the flag.
And all of a sudden the flag
he got tackled.
It was crazy.
I'd have loved to have heard the conversation.
I know.
It wasn't, excuse me, Mr. Official, I promise you that.
Bring it back and call it second down and 4 from the 42. Comary going to throw. Man, that's complete to Ali and a zig and a zag, and he's hit and he's fumbled. A teammate recovers the loose ball at the 30-yard line in Hebron territory. That was Yosei Ali again on the catch and a short carry and then a fumble. And then it's the guy in at center, Ryan Krumholtz, a junior downfield who recovers first down at Hebron's 30. There's Comary, hands it to Billingsley, and Delvin is knocking at the door behind his right guard and tackle, and not much doing. First down and 10, the gain of 2. And Hebron's tackle registered by Chris Brayman on Dalvin Billingsley, 5'9" senior at 160 pounds. Comary to throw, caught by Ali at the 22. Outside of the 20, Hicks Onu pulls him out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Beg your pardon, the receiver is James Kim, 13 rather than 19 Ali. So it's 13 on the catch, James Kim.
The only thing I can think of why they're still throwing the football is
practice.
They want to work. Exactly. There's another hold.
Here's Comary on that same play that he carried in for an apparent touchdown earlier, but he rolled up by Anton Partee after a gain of only 1 to the 17-yard line. Loses a headgear in the process, so we will see another quarterback, Peter, at least for a play. And it's Logan Williams. Started a few games last year as a sophomore, did Williams, when Comary got hurt latter half of the year. So not unfamiliar with taking snaps. Big hole, Billingsley. Off tackle right side, flag down. Billingsley is also down near the 10-yard line. Good open field tackle by Antoine Partee. But hang on, question marks, penalty flags are down.
Holding on Plano West, and now that it's 36-0, they're going to start calling that stuff. But the big news and the good news is Jarrett Lee checking back in the game for Hebron.
Very nicely done. Got the right ankle taped and getting around pretty good. Holding, and that flag was visibly thrown at Iju Kim, the right tackle.
Smith Holder got the message, apparently.
Inside of the 4-minute mark, third quarter. West, the lead, 36-0. Comary, the pass, deep, inside the 5, can't be brought in, should have been caught. Parker Davidson, I believe, is the intended receiver.
They ran the old pump and go, and the corner bit, and the throw was perfect. And Brayman lit up Calmeri, but he made a perfect throw. It wasn't on him. Ball just not caught in the end zone.
No, I beg your pardon. It was James Kim who should have caught the football deep between the hash marks and made it for a touchdown. Muffed it. Calmeri to throw one more time. This one is caught inside the 15 and tackled immediately by Hicks Onu. On the catch is James Kim. Go right back to the youngster, and he'll be knocked down shy of the first down stick near the 12-yard line, and fourth down and four, beg your pardon. And West with the big lead will go for it. Dalvin Billingsley, the running back, offset the left side of his quarterback out of a gun. It's Calmeri, and he'll carry it himself for a first down inside the 10, hit it to 5, and spilled at the 3.5-yard line. First down goal to go on the legs of the senior quarterback, Robert Calmeri.
And got a Hebron player down, getting up slow. That's Sauter, but he's back up.
At the 3-minute mark, quarter number 3, running play, Billingsley puts the head down behind left guard and pile drives his way to the 1-yard line. The gain of 2 on first and goal. On the stop for the Hawks is linebacker Jacob Ragsdale. Running play, Billingsley, touchdown off the off-guard right side from a yard away. A second rushing touchdown on the year. This was from a yard away for Dalvin Billingsley.
It's a pretty good-looking drive right there. I mean, you got to keep playing, I guess, BD, but in the end zone they go. And nice drive, nice chance for Billingsley to get a touchdown.
Parker Davidson's been busy. He's been productive. Here's the point after touchdown. He'll drill this. Only news if the youngster misses. Davidson, the point after, posting up a 43rd point on the Plano West board. This coming at the 2-minute 47-second mark of our third quarter. And all Plano West in the scoring column. Wolves over the Hawks 43-0. Again, getting late third quarter at the 2:47 mark.
A shout out to the folks at the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. Big thanks to them, and also the GDYO Jazz Institute. Check out gdyo.org to learn more about this amazing group, including when you get your next chance to enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. That's the GDYO Jazz Institute and the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. Trent?
Actually, a long drive for the Wolves tonight. 10 plays, 52 yards, 3 minutes, 7 seconds used on that drive. That was capped off by the 1-yard touchdown run by Devin Billingsley. And once again, Davidson with the extra point. It's now 43-0. The Plano West Wolves over the Hebron Hawks. 2:47 left in the third quarter.
Very, very impressed with this Plano West bunch, I tell you right now.
Parker Davidson one more time. Make you a wish. It won't be returned. 9 yards into the end zone. Beg your pardon. Isaiah Gary will return it from 9 yards deep and find the same 10, 15, 20. Threw and left out to the 30. A stop-and-go move at the 35 and knocked out of bounds at the Hebron 45 by Seth Hammond. Quite a return by Isaiah Gary again from 9 yards deep in his end zone.
PD, am I the only one that heard a whistle?
I don't think, fortunately, Isaiah Gary didn't.
Wesley's shaking his head.
Did you hear it, Wes?
And they probably just assumed, that he was going to take a knee because his foot was almost on the back of the end.
Yeah, he was way back there.
No quitting Isaiah Gary either.
Here's Hebron.
Who's the quarterback?
I think that is one Colton Chapin. Running play, Angelo Garbett. Digging outside, right side now against the grain and picks up 3 to the 48-yard line. Ed Martin, that's a good-looking senior weak side linebacker. One of the leading tacklers, and again tonight one of the leading tacklers for the West Wolves, stopping Angelo after the gain of 3.
Those linebackers are good, and they're still out there.
They are good. Ed Martin, Mohamed Sanogo, and then Keyshawn Butler. Yeah, they have been all over the field and making some flush hits. Chapin, toss sweep. This time, left side. On the edge, Garbutt. Clear a corner, get a first down. Run into West territory to the 45, down to the 40, and to the Wolves' 38-yard line. Rolled out of bounds by Malik McLemore, working out of the secondary on the far boundary.
No quitting Angelo Garbutt, and here comes Reggie Evans to give him a break, but nice run that time. He could go either way, right or left. He just keeps running hard.
And he could go either way, defensively or offensively, and
right.
just absolutely excel.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to Angelo Garbutt at the next level, because I really do think he could excel on either side of the football.
I agree with you, partner.
Here's Evans on a little toss, digging it wide, giving ground, losing ground from the 37, the loss of 5 to the 42. Velasano, a backup linebacker, and then there's Keyshawn Butler, giving his partner a help out of the linebacking core, and the loss of 5 for Evans to the 42.
Yeah, just swarming to the football now, and Reggie had no chance. He started to turn the corner, and there was four defensive players ready to just take care of business. Good job of holding on to the football. Go ahead, Trent.
And what a difference injuries make. Tonight you see probably 80% of the runs going to the right side of that line where
yeah, exactly.
at the beginning of the year they were on the left side because you had, you know, the bell cow out there, Zach Rogers, at left tackle.
And now Farley hurt too.
Boy, they toss it in the backfield to Reggie Evans, and he plays hot potato with it, and I think ends up fumbling it away. And Plano West recovers at the West 48-yard line, recovering Ed Martin, his second fumble recovery of the night. And what, Peter, you said under your breath a 7th Hawk turnover?
I believe that's what it is unofficially.
That is number 7.
Wow, and a lot of these are unforced. That's unforced right there.
Yeah.
Lack of concentration.
And Brian Brazel's still not very happy with Smith Holdren. I don't know what's got under his skin, but it's after every play he's getting after him. Just don't understand. I don't know.
Here's West.
Hey, look there, man.
Backup quarterback is in. Billingsley with the carry. Partee with the tackle. Logan Williams, again, working offensively at quarterback for Mike Hughes, his offensive coordinator, Kelly Mercer. And Logan Williams, 6-foot junior at 166 pounds. Inside half a minute before we call it 3 quarters. Running play, Billingsley. There's the way down tackle right there by Julian Harris and Corey Everhart. Very little on 2nd down and 8. And they'll be confronted with 3rd down and 5 when we come back after we run out these final seconds of quarter number 3. We, in fact, are going to have one more snap. Nope, there's the whistle, and time has expired, and we're through 3 in North Carrollton at Hawks Stadium at the score at the end of the 3rd quarter. All Plano West. The Wolves 43, the homestanding Hawks nothing.
Well, Trent Lynch mentioned Zach Rogers. We'd like to thank Randy Rogers and the team over at Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano for being such strong supporters of Hebron Hawk footballs over the last couple of years. Are you searching for a new or used Jeep Dodge Chrysler or Ram? At Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge, we provide everything automotive and superb customer service. With Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge, you'll get a reliable and stylish new car at a price that does not break the bank. And a big shout out to all the folks over there for their continuing support. And it just won't be the same, BD, without the Rogers family. Kelly down there with the camera and Randy all over the place here at the Woodshed.
Talking to Zach and talking to Randy on the field before the ball game, and asked how Zach was doing, and Randy said they were very positive about how he's coming around, and you know he's going to finish up this semester at Hebron High School, but come December 20th, he's heading to Fayetteville and hooking up with the football program there at the University of Arkansas. And they're open. The Razorbacks can string some wins together. Look out, throwing long man open. First play, 4th quarter, from the 46 in Plano West territory. It's caught at the 40, at the 15, carrying inside the 10, and inside to the end zone, tackled by Hicks Onu. Well, they say the receiver was down. That's Travis Traylor behind everybody. Inside the 5 at the Hebron 2-yard line, first down goal to go from there.
You know, Brad, there's no need for that.
No, and it was the backup quarterback, Logan Williams, who threw over the top. And Travis Traylor was 4 or 5 steps in front of any Hebron defender. Looked in the catch at the 15 and stumbled inside the 10, inside the 5, and finally evidently surfaced at the 2-yard line before tumbling into the end zone where he fumbled the football away. And Hebron's Omar Hicks only thought he had a recovery and a touchdown prevention, but not so much. They'll say the knee was touching down at the 2-yard line, and from there, first down and goal to go. This on the first play of the final frame. And it goes from the Plano West 46 to the Hebron 2-yard line.
I honestly believe the frustration level in Brian Brazel has reached the all-time high. He didn't talk to his team during that timeout. In fact, Smith Holder was in the huddle with the team. So there's something going on that's just gotten under Coach B's skin. And maybe Weston, good luck with it, buddy, but you got to find out because this has got me it's a little weird, isn't it?
Logan Williams out of a shotgun. Hands to Billingsley. Breaks outside, left side. Get a dance on in front of the pylon. Billingsley, a second touchdown here in the second half. And this one from 2 yards away. Not many are going to hang around for the conclusion of this one. The latest Plano West points are tallied fourth quarter at the 11:46 mark.
And it's just gotten now to the point where it's about pride. And the Hebron defense, you can just see the frustration level on all of them. And it's just all about pride at this point. And the extra point by Davidson is good. And, Brad, I'm going to let you read a spot. I'm out of spots over here.
Hang a half 100 right now with all but 14 seconds of this fourth quarter remaining to be played at Hawk Stadium. Plano West, the lead at 50-0 over over the Hebron Hawks. Broadcast sponsored in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it's the right option for your child. With Shockbox, you'll be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact, which could result in a concussion. You're invited to visit ShockboxDFW.com today. Shockbox, a proud supporter of Hebron Hawk football.
Trey Lynch.
Well, 12 drives for the Hawks. Just a comment. 12 drives for the Hawks, 7 turnovers.
Wow.
Their last turnover led to a 4-play, 52-yard drive in 1 minute and 3 seconds. Devin Billingsley with the second touchdown, another 2-yard run. The Davidson extra point, 50-0. Plano West Wolves over the Hebron Hawks.
There's a boot from Davidson. A return, Omar Hicks, 3 yards deep. Goal line 5, zig 10, good speed 20, across the 25, and tackled in the open field by Tyler Campbell at the Hebron 30-yard line. It is about pride right now. Hebron garnering the possession down by a 50-0 count. Go to work from the Hawk 30-yard line. Looking ahead for Hebron travel next week over to the east side of Plano, and in fact in the proper of Murphy, Texas, and Tom Kimbrough Stadium to take on Plano East, the Panthers, and then return home to clear out and close out the 2014 season week after next Friday, November 7th, with McKinney Boyd's Broncos coming to call in the finale. From the 30, running play. Garbett for 3 for 4, give him 5 in total to his 35-yard line. Malik Monroe, good-looking junior, backup defensive tackle, just moved up to the varsity when district play started and getting some backup play time, and he'll get considerable play time in this fourth quarter. I see Jonathan Wang is spelled Brian Drew working at center. Devin Harris, left guard. Freddie Danchez at left tackle. They've gone the distance. And Keith Thomas continues to work at right guard with Hayden Seeley at right tackle for the Hawks. Inside 11 minutes to conclusion. Snap the football, and the quarterback will run it. And the quarterback in this case is the sophomore Richard Dodd, and he's tripped up after a short gain of only a pair by Blake Wesson. Wesson playing up there at front defensive end. He's a senior reserve, 6'1", 182.
And Brad, Hebron's just got to find a way to get a first down. This defense is just...
They're bushed.
They're done. Trent made a great point earlier about how tired they are. I mean, 12 offensive possessions already for the Wolves, and just, you got to give them a chance to catch their breath. Unseasonably warm tonight, too.
3rd down and 3 with Trey Pugh in the backfield. With Pugh in front, here's breaking and spinning and stretching for a first down, perhaps stop shy, is a quarterback keeper in Richard Dodd. And Valisano, Jared Valisano, reserve linebacker.
Oh, Brad, that ball was a yard short, and they gave him the first down. Did you see it, Trent?
I saw
ball
it.
was marked on the 39. They had to get to the 40.
And it's still marked on the 39, nevertheless, first down, Hebron.
Smith Holder maybe handicapping the football game a little bit here.
Let me tell you, this is just a... I mean, don't tell me the running clock is next as Trey Pugh bullies his way between the guards, and a gain of 6 to the 46. In fact, 7 from the 39. Malik McLemore is on the tackle.
That's that new math.
I have to erase because I'd already marked that they didn't make that first down.
Yeah,
so
you saw it too, right? I'm not making it up.
4th and 1. A nice effort by Dodd. He's reached the ball out in front, but
there's sometimes me and the voice of reason don't see things the same way. That one we were all over.
Inside of the 9-minute mark. Dodd under. A successful handoff to Pugh and a carry for a first down for Trey Pugh. He'll get another half dozen.
And running hard. Look at that.
Maybe 8 yards across midfield and down to the 47 in Wolves territory. Blake Wesson again featured on the stop of Trey Pugh.
And Brad, you talked about Derek Mueller with baseball coach Steve Stone. Little Derek Mueller in there trying to block, and he comes out of there spinning and fixing his helmet, but he's still out there battling. Hayden Seeley over on the sideline. Nothing wrong with Hayden. I think it's just time to get some kiddos a chance to play.
Here's Richard Dodd out of a gun. He's going to take it and run it himself. Not going to get far. He's hooked down by Valisano. That's a good-looking reserve linebacker in Jared Valisano.
He hadn't been blocked very much
6 foot,
tonight.
187. Got there in a hurry. The loss back to the Hebron 49 of 4. And 2nd down 14 for the Hawks. Christian Dawson brings his speed into the offensive 11. He'll sit in the slot right wide. That wide Derek Mueller. And wide left, I believe, is Slater.
Brad, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but I think Wong's in at center.
There's a throw, and a Derek Mueller attempted catch. Went over his head, and he tried to pull it down. Caromed off the hand. Adam Speckman, reserve corner, on the cover of Mueller. Too tall on the pass from Richard Dodd. Hebron, not much success throwing the football tonight. What, 1 completion?
1 completion in 7 attempts.
It's 1 completion in 2 games.
But 3 interceptions.
Ouch.
You see how close they have to get to the first down marker on this one.
3rd down 14 right now. The ball at the 49 in Hawk territory. Running play, and out of the backfield, and carrying it's Christian Dawson, and he'll make a guy miss around midfield and carry for a gain of 6 to the Plano West Wolves 45-yard line.
And they'll go for it. Maybe they can pick up 6 or 7 and pick up the first down when they need 9.
What do you think happens next week at Clark Field when Allen comes to call against these West Wolves? We might think, hey, that's a big old district showdown, and Allen may run away and hide 42-21, something like that. But West is a fairly competitive football team. If Allen makes a mistake or two and West plays as well as they can, perhaps very competitive.
It all depends on the health of number 1, let's be perfectly honest.
Quick throw near flat, caught by Slater.
And there's a completion.
Jalen Slater, the catch for a first down.
I think.
Caught it at the 40 and tackled by Carson Schreiber. A linebacker after the first down is earned after the carry from the 40 down to the 37 by Jalen Slater of Hebron.
Well, I think it's just as simple as that, Brad. If Soso Jamambo can play, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that could match Allen's number 1.
Correct.
Over the middle, a second consecutive completed pass, short post play. And on the catch is Mueller, and on the tackle is Valisano. And Derek Mueller latches onto his second catch of the night, number 13 on the season.
And Dodd did a nice job of standing in the pocket that time, no happy feet, set that foot and let go of the football. And if you get it close to Derek, he's going to catch it.
Gain of 9, second down and 1. Here's Dodd one more time, going to launch it and deep for Slater into the end zone and almost intercepted, but it goes incomplete. Ade Kilpatrick is on the cover of the intended receiver, who is one Jalen Slater. It goes as an incompleted forward pass. Bring it back to the 28, second down, third down, 1 now for the Hawks.
Slater went from receiver to defender on that one, as that throw was a little bit overthrown.
Only one who had a chance was defender Ade Kilpatrick. He couldn't run it down. Third down and 1, running play. Pugh going to get that, plus plenty more. Off right tackle, 25-20, 15-10. Trey Pugh for a touchdown run of 28 yards. And Hebron off the snide at the midway mark of quarter number 4. Hawks score on a 28-yard Trey Pugh run.
Third touchdown of the season for Trey Pugh, goes off tackle. And the second offensive line did a really nice job of getting off the ball that time. And, boy, Trey put his head down. Nobody was going to catch him. Nice job. Touchdown, Hebron.
Point after touchdown for Hebron, looking for a holder. On comes Derek Mueller. Play clock just now inside of 10. And Mueller will hold for Kyler Terry. Got to hurry the play clock at 3 and 2. There's the snap. The spot in the Terry kick is good, and Hebron making a 7 out of the 6. So something to celebrate for those Hawk fans who have hung around here. Midway mark, quarter number 4, 6:03 on the scoreboard clock. And the new count, Plano West 50 and Hebron 7.
A big shout out once again to our friend Steve Swanson over at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around town in one of Brad Denton's favorite devices, that Whirly Bug. And, hey, you know what, Brad? I know you're a fan of laser tag, too. It's most affordable around town. 2 locations to serve you. One in Plano, the other one in Hearst. That's the one that we go to. League starting up now. So visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. Whirlyball.info for more info. Trent?
Well, just what the doctor ordered here in the fourth quarter for the Hebron Hawks. A 12-play, 70-yard drive, 5 minutes, 43 seconds used. 28-yard touchdown run. Trey Pugh, the Terry extra point. The West Wolves 50, Hebron Hawks 7. But it was nice to see a couple of nice pass and reception plays on that drive. Give him a little bit of confidence for Dodd.
Well, here's Plano West, and quite frankly, being honest with you, they will deploy a couple of numbers back there deep, neither on the roster.
Uh-oh.
And one of them wears an 83, and he's going to carry from the 7 up the near sideline, and he's rolled out of bounds by Hebron's Jason Lynch right at the 30-yard line. And hustling off a nice return by who I am sure a youngster and a recent call up from the junior varsity wearing a number 8-3 for Plano West.
First name 8, last name 3.
Well, I wish we had some, but that's one thing we just didn't get, and those are the kind of things you have to ask for, and you have to ask people at the within the program. Any new numbers? Any call-ups? Here's something you just appreciate. The scrambling quarterback, Logan Williams, to the near sideline, and from the 30 out to the 37, tackled by Hebron reserve corner Terry Wheeler, along with Jason Lynch. And Williams could have took it to the sideline, got knocked out of bounds, but he just kind of crumpled to stay in bounds and let that clock roll. Here's Billingsley with yet another carry, and out across the 40 for a first down for West. On the carry, I believe that is Davin Billingsley. Yeah, Billingsley hustling off. First down earned. Gerald Mapunga on the tackle for Hebron.
Brad, I got some scores if you want them. 6-6A.
I'm all ears.
Boyd 20, Marcus 15, Plano East 49-42 over Louisville. And the Allen game, you don't want to know, 49-17 Allen.
Jordan Lewis has checked in a running back and gets a carry and does a little damage. Picks up 5 out across his 45. Lewis, 5'5", the little toy tornado at 130 pounds. Breaks it, and Jacob Timish on the tackle. Timish, a senior, has been out with injury. I'm very pleased to see him back. 6 foot, 180 pounds.
Evan Bell checked in for Hebron at an outside linebacker.
Pete, what do you think about District 6-6A? Sending Allen, sending Plano West, sending Plano Senior High. And then I think there's a nickel in the air, and they're playing tonight, and Boyd's having the better of it.
Boyd's hanging in there, 2015. I'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Lewis with yet another carry and spanks it for a gain of 4.5. Be 3rd down and 1. And on the Hebron tackle is Evan Bell, senior reserve linebacker. And not a big kid, but delivering a good blow there. Bell at 5'8", 145 pounds. Look at that fourth quarter clock becoming a friend as it ticks towards the 4-minute mark. Ball game was 14-0 through 1, 31-0 at the end of the second quarter, our halftime count. Plano West stretched that to 43-0 through 3 quarters, sitting now at 50-7. Here's the quarterback, Logan Williams, scrambling for a first down on 3rd down and 1. And Gerald Mapunga will wrestle him down with the shoulder pads. Gerald's brother, Stansley Mapunga, one of the really terrific players through this Hebron program in his first 15 years of play, now employed by the Atlanta Hawks after a terrific collegiate career at Texas Christian University.
That would be Falcons.
Oh, Falcons, I beg your pardon. Thank you. Getting late here.
Getting late early.
Working for the Hawks here. I was thinking Hawks all the way. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
They're both full of feathers.
They're both from Atlanta.
Evan Bell and Jacob Timish on the latest tackle of running back Jordan Lewis. Lewis, with only 11 carries through 7 ball games, has been very busy here in the fourth quarter with 4 carries. And he'll get a 5th carry and try to bounce it wide left and do a little more damage. And a flag down as Lewis looks to get a first down from the 40 down to the 32-yard line. Julian Garcia working at safety on the tackle of Jordan Lewis, but early on the play, our referee, Smith Holder, tossed that flag into the fray, and you thought you might get holding. That is confirmed holding Plano West.
Timely call. Well, I'm watching the Hebron defender. They were just rotating them in and out. Brad Musell just came out. Checking in for this play is Devin Green, a young man we haven't seen all season, getting a chance to play as well.
And that's good. These kids work hard every day to be a part of this program and don't get much Friday night playtime.
That's right.
Here's Lewis, head down, driving. First down, rather second down and 13, going to turn into, maybe 3rd and 9 after the latest Jordan Lewis carry for 4. Devin Owens featured on the stop, 5'9", 190-pound defensive lineman, a senior.
On cue. Got Mapunga out here on a corner. 7 out there. That's Julian Garcia getting a chance to play for Hebron. Jason Lynch out as a safety on the far side. Jordan Johnson in the game. We've seen a lot of Jordan this year.
Wheeler working this near corner. Oh, and look out. Here's Williams wanting to throw. Chased out of the pockets, running for his life, and not going to get out of the pocket. He's chased down and pulled down by Devin Owen on the sack, and then help from Nathaniel Dolores on the sack of Logan Williams back across midfield at the West 49.
Again, a good chance, a good thing there for Nathaniel Dolores. Haven't seen Nathaniel, and Brad, this is why we stay. We take pride in this. We want to make sure that when somebody does get in the game, we mention it because Grandpa might be listening somewhere. We have listeners in Nebraska and Arkansas, and it's great to see that the young men get a chance to play, and not when they're losing 50-7, but at least they still get a chance. Nice punt.
Damon Fonjem, that's a nice punt. Under it is Terry Wheeler. He'll gather it in at the 12, turn the corner 15, wide the sideline across the 20 above the 30, and then he's knocked out of bounds, and a healthy blow delivered by Justin Burton on the return guy. And a nice job by Terry Wheeler, who returns from the 12, maybe even the 11-yard line, out to, they'll say it was knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
And you know what's nice about that play by Wheeler? When he turns the corner, the whole sideline is over there cheering for him. And you don't see that in a lot of teams when they're down 50-7, but again, that's the whole philosophy here. Philosophy, and it's just nice to see.
Dodd into the ball game along with running back Reggie Evans. Richard Dodd at quarterback.
Somebody had to go get Christian Dawson. He didn't know he was in.
Final 64 ticks, about to fade away. Quick pass this way. That's caught in the flat and knocked out of bounds immediately as Jalen Goodwin by Jared Valisano. Very little, if any, gain on the play. In fact, they'll call it an incompleted forward pass.
Goodwin's first reception of the year, I believe, right, Trent?
They will say it's a completed pass and a gain of 1, in fact.
Clearly not on the stat sheet.
Dodd, handoff. Evans drops it. Plano West, I think, recovers it.
Turnovers.
That would be, as you mentioned, Peter, 8 turnovers. Alex Kin, K-I-N, on the recovery of the Reggie Evans fumble at the 29 in Hebron territory.
The dreaded snowman.
Yeah, that's it. 8 turnovers in a ball game. And Hebron, into it, had a total of 6 turnovers through 7 ball games.
Yeah, that's just, they've created 3 tonight. So, I mean, just 8, you just unheard of for a Hebron Hawk team.
Mike Hughes, if you do anything other than grab a knee right here, 39 seconds remaining, I'll be disappointed in you. Hand to Lewis, inside, bouncing outside. Damon Lewis at the 20, 15, and stumbles inside the 15 and surfaces at the 13-yard line. Jordan Lewis, in fact, the youngster on the carry. He's that guy called the Toy Tornado. And there was the carry from the 39 to the 13.
Brad, you're right. Just take a knee.
Smith, yeah,
and you know what? I'm happy with Smith Holder all of a sudden.
Well, they're down to 18-17, and now they're going to head to the sidelines and call this thing to conclusion at 50 for Plano West and 7 for Hebron as we go final from Hawks Field in North Carrollton. With the win, Plano West now a 3rd win in a row, a 7th win in this game number 8, 7-1. The Plano West record 1-7, the mark for Hebron. And as I mentioned, Plano West with their biggest ball game of the year next week at John Clark Field with the state's top-ranked Allen Eagles coming to call the pace setters in District 6-6A with these West Wolves just a game behind. And that will be the feature, if not one of the feature games in the North Central Texas area next week in week number 9 of the 2014 season. Meanwhile, the Hebron Hawks will travel across the community of Plano to the far east side, in fact into Murphy, to Tom Kimbrough Stadium, and they will play a Plano East outfit that has not had the success in 2014 that their neighbors across town, these Plano West Wolves, have had. And Hebron, should they right the ship and focus a little bit and get rid of the 8 turnovers, should be able to hold a competitive football game with the Plano East Wolves. But this one taken out of the balance early, and Plano West wins it, going away by a final count of 50-7. Wolves 50 and the Hawks 7. Brad Denton, along with Pete Nielsen, Trent Lynch, and Weston Lynch, are on hand. But certainly one of those nights that I saw Brian's dad, Charlie, here in the ball game up in the press box and even down before. And Charlie Braswell coming up from the Houston area fairly frequently to watch his son Brian with the football game. And I can tell you that I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie looked at Brian later on tonight and said, Brian, I think you and I both remember your mother said there would be days like this.
and unfortunately, there's been more than one. And that's sad because this is not what, people have come to know about Hebron. When I was talking to Reagan Ratcliffe, who does the Plano West broadcast this week, he's like, what happened? This isn't Hebron-like season. And I didn't know where to begin, but it starts with, the Capel game when you have the ball inside the 1 yard line twice and you don't score. And then a game that he clearly could have won. And then you come and you play Plano and you lose your best guy on, let's be honest, a cheap shot. And it's just gone downhill from then. And, it's body quarterback play. And it's just very, very difficult. And it's just not what people are used to. And, everybody that, Brad, let's be honest. We've been lucky. We have had a great 7-8 year run here. They have been competitive. We've gone to the playoffs all but 2 years, I believe. And it's just a down year. But you know what? Those kids still believe in Coach Brazel. He still loves them. And you know what? The sun will come up tomorrow. They'll get ready for Plano East next week.
And as Coach Brazel says, no matter what the score, no matter what the record, they'll get to play a game they love.
That's right.
Which is football. How we got to 50-7, and this may be the quickest scoring summary that we've ever featured here on Champion Sports Radio.
And they were quick scores, too.
Man, were they ever. Were they ever. Quarter number 1, first play from scrimmage after Hebron kicked it off, and it was a touchback to the 25. Soso Jamabo. 75 yards, touchdown. Parker Davidson, point after 7-0, Plano West. Later in that first quarter, at the 2:30 mark, on a one play, taking advantage of maybe the first of the 8 Hebron turnovers. One play, 41-yard, a running play, a Soso Jamabo 41-yard touchdown run, 14-0 after Davidson's point after touchdown. 14-zip as we roll play in the second quarter and takes Plano East a full 5 seconds of that second quarter to complete a 2-play, 11-yard drive. Yes, on the heels of yet another Hebron turnover. This touchdown, 3-yard run, Soso Jamabo. Davidson kicks the point after 21-0. 2.5 minutes later at the 10-17 mark, it's a Jamabo run of 2 yards, capping a 5-play, 55-yard drive that took a minute 35, and scoring at the 10-17 mark of quarter number 2, Soso Jamabo, 2-yard run, 28-0. Later in that second quarter rather, in fact, at the 4:34 mark, a Plano West drive kind of runs aground after 9 plays. They're confronted with 4th down and considerable. And the 43-yard drive stalls. They'll bring in Parker Davidson, and he'll drill a 35-yard field goal at the 4:34 mark, second quarter. And Plano West boosted to a 31-0 lead, and that's where we stood through 2 quarters of play. Halftime, Plano West 31 and Hebron 0. Coming out third quarter, first time Plano West has their hands on the football. 4 plays, and they lose 2 yards on the possession, but the possession came in Hebron territory off of a Hawk turnover. So they were in possession for a distance field goal attempt, and Parker Davidson makes his 8th in 9 field goal attempts, in the process matching his season-long of 52 yards, coming at the 7:34 mark or third quarter. Plano West 34-0, make it 36-0 very promptly thereafter as Hebron's pinned deep in their territory. Angelo Garbett tries to run it out of the end zone but can't as he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage, behind the goal line by Amir Kilpatrick. A Plano West corner goes for a safety and add the deuce to make it 36-0 at the 5.5 minute mark, third quarter. Later in that third frame, backup running back Davin Billingsley, spelling Soso Jamabo throughout the second half of the ball game, scores on a 1-yard run, capping a 10-play, 52-yard drive. This one of the very long drives for Plano West tonight. It ate up 3 minutes and 7 seconds of that fourth quarter. And the third quarter into the fourth quarter, scoring on a 2-yard run, early fourth, 11:40 remaining. Devin Billingsley. Hey, Davidson comes in. He's Mr. Automatic, point after touchdown, and that took it to the dreaded half 100. 50-0 And the final points were put on the board as Hebron, well, as the old saying goes, dribble a teardrop by the time they need a tub full. Trailing 50-0, but it's Trent Pruitt on a 28-yard run midway fourth quarter. That capped a 12-play, 70-yard Hebron drive, and it goes for points again. Trey Pruitt, 28-yard touchdown, his third rushing touchdown of the year, comes at 6:03 remaining fourth quarter. And Mr. Terry, Kyler Terry, good with the point after touchdown, and that completes the arrangements for our final from Hawk Stadium on the campus of Hebron High School. Plano West, the Wolves 50 and the Hebron Hawks 7.
Bringing Trent Lynch with some team numbers and some highlighted offensive numbers from tonight's game.
Well, actually, offensively tonight, it's kind of a reminder of a playoff football game that I saw last year against a pretty strong Cedar Hill team. There just was very little offense for the Hebron Hawks tonight. 10 first downs. They had 50 rushing attempts, did the Hawks, for 118 yards, averaged less than 2.5 yards per carry, and that's not typically what we have seen this year, especially with Angelo Garbett in the backfield. But it was a really tough night, especially for Richard Dodd. A lot of minus plays, not necessarily all his fault. He had a lot of pressure when he's going back to pass, but they lost a lot of yardage. They had several minus yardage runs, including the safety for minus 2 yards. And when you combine 118 rushing yards with the 22 passing yards, 4 of 11 on passing attempts, a total
There's
of 140 yards for the Hebron Hawks.
And that's not much. And then what kills you are the 3 interceptions, the 5 lost fumbles. That's 8 turnovers. 5 penalties cost Hebron 27 yards, and not a very productive night offensively for Hebron, and that's what those numbers will illustrate right there.
Second half, first drive fumble, second drive fumble, third drive safety, fourth drive fumble, fifth drive a touchdown, the last drive another fumble.
Ouch.
So I don't know if I've ever seen a line like that.
No, it's hard.
In a ball game before.
Hard to think.
It's tough. Let's look at Plano West. The Wolves achieving 17 first downs, running for 236 yards, that on 34 carries. They average 7 yards a carry. Completing 8 of 17 passes for 143 yards. They are well below their usual average of 450 yards a ball game. They achieved 379 total offensive yards tonight. And Plano West guilty, of course, with the 2 interceptions along with the 8 completions. So 2 turnovers and 4 penalties cost Plano East 45 yards. But this taken out of the balance so doggone early that I'm not sure that Plano West can take a look at this and say, well, this went wrong and that went wrong, because as out of sync as Hebron was, I don't know that they learned a lot about themselves tonight.
No, and when you, like we talked about, and Trent made a great point with the Hebron offense just never getting started, and it's hard when you're limited offensively like they are. That 16 seconds into the game, you're down 7-0. 2 minutes into the game, you're down 14-0.
That was quite a run by Jamabo.
I got to tell you, the 4 of us up here looked at each other with our mouths open. I was like, did he? I mean, and it was effortlessly.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's why people are saying he might be the most highly recruited running back in the country. That's why. And you know what? The Plano run defense has been pretty solid all year. The pass defense, but the run defense has been pretty darn solid. He went through them like he was a piece of Swiss cheese, and it's hard and it's disheartening. And then again, Trent made a really good point with being behind the line of scrimmage so much they were tonight. 2nd and 24, third and 17. When you have the option of not being able to throw the football, it's almost impossible to stay in the game, and it's just really, really disheartening. And I got to tell you, it's easy to coach a team that's really good, and I think that Brian Brazel and Eric Mock and Jamie Carr and Jim Farley and the rest of the gang might have their biggest coaching challenge for the last 2 weeks of the season, because this is going to be tough to get through. I mean, this was a home game that was over, let's be realistic, 16 seconds in. I mean, and I don't want to be that way. I love the Hebron Hawks. I love Brian Brazel. I love being here every Friday night. those guys going to have to work the next 2 weeks to see what they can do. And I have some scores for you here. Weston did catch up with Bryan, but before we go to that, Boyd still leads Marcus 20-15. That's probably the game that decides who the fourth team is going in.
Very likely.
A pitcher's duel up at Max Goldsmith. It's now. Oh, I lost my computer screen here. Stand by.
Shame on you, Peter.
It's Louisville 58. They just made a three-pointer. Louisville 58 and Plano East 49. And Allen just continues to roll. 60. You got the joke, didn't you? 63-17 Flower Mound. And it's 58-49, Brad. 58. Well, that's Hebron's next opponent next week, Plano East. And
the good news is they give up some points. The bad news is they score.
Well, Weston did catch up with Bryan Brazel, and it was an extended interview, so it'll be interesting what Coach Brazel has to say.
Coach Brazel, not the game you were hoping to have tonight. 8 total turnovers, just tough for the Hawks staying on the ball tonight. Gave Plano West a lot of
had
short
8.
fields.
I thought we had more tonight than we had the whole season combined. I was right. So, at times we played pretty good. We battled. We did some good things. We played hard. We got the ball turned over. We did some things, and then we just, then we just gave them great field position, allowed them to get scores. They had a good football team, but, we just didn't. We didn't get done. We played poorly. We played bad overall. I think our kids played hard. When you have 8 turnovers, I don't know if anybody has 8 turnovers can ever win a game, but our kids battled, so I'm proud of them for that, and we're going to come back, be ready to go next week.
When you're on the sideline, we don't see you talking to officials nearly as much as you did tonight. What was the story behind that?
Well, whatever they want to say, we haven't jumped off sides, we have not had the flinching, they're simulating the snap count. Or whatever they want to call it, they can say they're just adjusting the motion, but they're simulating the snap count. And I was explaining it to the officials, and they said they're not calling out the snap count. I said, no, but they are causing those problems because they're jumping right for the ball to snap. We told them before the game. I showed them on the rule where it says that. They don't interpret the rule the same way that I do. And so that was it. It was just that. I was like, guys, you got to call that, because we were moving the ball. We were effectively moving the ball early, and then we get 5 yards and 6 yards, and then they make us being second and long, and that's not our football game. And I felt they kind of took us out of the game a little bit with continuing to do that, and that caused our kids. That's our kids. The coach keep calling out. They keep calling. They keep flinching. They keep doing that. And when they do that, it just created a problem, and our kids got rapid with it. And that's why you have 8 turnovers, because of those things that I think they allowed, and they didn't call it one time on them. And because everything they were doing had nothing to do with them calling a strength through them. They were trying to draw us off sides. That's all it was, and that's against the rules, but they didn't do anything about it. But that's why I was frustrated, as you can tell.
Game's over. What do you do to get your kids to have a short memory and just focus on next week at this point?
You just forget it. It's over. You got to have a short memory in anything you do in life. If you're going to continue to hold on to either the good or the bad sometimes, it can drag you down. You just got to keep looking forward. This game's over, and could have got over quick enough, but now it's over. We got to get ready for the next one. Plano East will be ready for a win. I don't know I know they were winning at halftime. They might have got a win, and if that's the case, they're going to want to finish strong. And we still have a chance to finish strong. So we got to get ourselves ready to play a football game next week.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Wes.
Brad Denton, you've known Bryan Brazel for now probably close to 10 years. I've known him for probably close to 8 years. Have you ever seen Bryan Brazel that frustrated?
No, and it was interesting. We pointed it out throughout, and it was nice to hear
what was going
on.
The
explanation.
We got our answer
of what it was, and he wasn't going to talk them out of it, and they weren't going to see it his way, but he thought he had a way that needed to be seen, and he'll continue to bend the ear of Smith Holder. I can assure you, in any off-season meetings that involve officials, and he'll maybe collectively get with some of the other folks and say, let's talk about this, because I disagree with the interpretation right there.
In a 50-7 game,
it sounds like whining.
No, I just think it's frustration. But in the long run, the answer that he gave to Weston about what we talked about before we heard the question, how important it is to forget this and move on. There was the answer. You just throw it out. You don't show the game tape. You just move on and move on to Plano East. And that's easier said than done. These kids are 16, 17 years old. We've been around them. They know. But they also know that Plano East probably just lost to Louisville. So that could buoy them up. And, this team needs nothing more than another win. And if they get another win and come back over here for the finale against McKinney Boyd and maybe be a spoiler. That would be that would be a great end to the season. And the good news, if there's any good news, by then David Brazel and Cole Holford should be back on the field defensively, and that'll help.
Ought to be some fun. Now, there's a rumor floating around that you may be in spirit only the next couple of weeks. Is that
no
right?
rumor. I have I will be out of pocket the next 2 weeks. I have the charity that I am deeply involved with, National Convention next week in St. Louis. So I have to be there, and then the following week is everybody knows I'm always gone. Usually, it used to be for the Marcus game. It falls in the last week of the season. I'll be down to Miami, and I'm very lucky I get a chance to play in a golf tournament with NFL Hall of Famers. So it's my getaway for the year with some buddies, and you're in ample hands here with the team.
We just got Trump. You know that, don't you?
Well, if I got a chance I don't want to throw names, but if it's Barry Sanders or you guys, I'm going to play golf with Barry Sanders.
I was going to say, at least it took an NFL Hall of Famer to trump us. But,
that's exactly. Well, you have a broadcast Hall of Famer in Pete. He might as well join the NFL.
Well, in my own
Hall
mind,
of Famer.
In my own mind.
There you go. But I mean, we're a four-legged animal, but we'll stumble to the finish line as a three-legged.
Yeah, you know what? And like I have in the past, and I know you laugh at me when I tell you this, but a couple of years ago, and we're down in Florida at our trip, and it's a Hebron Flower Mound Marcus game, and Hebron's got to win to make the playoffs. And what am I doing? I'm at the Seminole Casino, and I'm sitting outside on a bench listening to the freaking game. That's how much this means to me. So for me to be gone for 2 weeks in a row, first of all, it can't be helped. But second of all, I'll miss you guys, and unfortunately, there'll be no playoff football this year for Hebron Hawks, so that'll be it.
See you next year.
Absolutely.
Nah, we'll miss you in your absence, Peter. You're a pleasure to work with again this evening, again this year. Hebron Hawks on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Louisville Independent School District has been brought to you by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. By Whirly Ball, the 2 locations, Hurst and Plano, where leagues are forming right now online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, a TV broadcasting marketing company, online at incommandbroadcasting.com. And by Point of Origin Design, a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. Find them online at pointoforigindesign.com. By ShockboxDFW.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head injury that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. And by the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience and bring your family and do it without breaking the bank. Visit gdyo.org and you'll find more information. Hebron Hawk Football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and of course online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. For my broadcast partner Pete Nielsen, for those behind the scenes, our statistician Trent Lynch, and our remote engineer, producer, field reporter, and spotter, Weston Lynch. A final word from Pete Nielsen.
A special shout out to Weston Lynch. We were let's say, challenged a little bit with our broadcast tonight. We didn't have one of our piece of equipment that runs our spots, so it was a team effort tonight. Thank you, Weston, for all you do for us every week. And boy, I really want that. You guys need to get that iPod back because it's labor intensive without it. But thank you, both of you guys, for all you do every week to help us make this so good.
From all of us to all of you, one-time final score from Hawk Stadium, Plano West. The Wolves increased the record to 7-up and 1 down on the year. A lopsided win over the Hebron Hawks, who fall to 1-7 for 2014. The final count from Hawk Stadium, Plano West 50 and Hebron 7. Thanks for your time. Until next time, so long, everybody.